Sir, but my options are
Yes.
different.
The options are different.
Yes,
Oh,
sir. That's why I'm not getting why it is correct.
okay, okay. Let's
For this option, your answer is right, but my options are different, so that I'm not getting. Question is same, but option are different.
okay. Just tell me the. Oh, okay.
Sir, can I tell you the interval of one function given to me in the option?
Uh-huh. Let me draw the poll. Let
Okay,
me
sir.
what we say.
Okay, okay.
Let us draw. Okay. How do you draw actually? If you have these things, is this we discussed in the week 4 anywhere?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have p of x as minus x square minus 16 into x minus 3 whole square into 2 minus x square, but you can write it as x minus 2 whole square, x plus 9, right? So I can simplify this further into factors like this: x plus 4, write x plus 9 into x plus 4 into x minus 2 whole square into x minus 3 whole square into x minus 4. This is the polynomial, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I just expanded it. I just expanded this x square minus 16 and I have written in order. So the roots are minus 9, minus 4, 2, 3, 4. So if I have to draw a polynomial, this is how I will draw. So this is the easier way to draw these polynomials. So when you have factors and multiplicities, what I will do is I'll just plot the roots on the number line on the x-axis, and I will take the leftmost root minus 9, and I will see before that I will take one random number, let's say minus 10 or something. Okay, and I will just check the sign of that minus 10 in the by putting it in the polynomial. So if I substitute minus 10, this will be negative.
Yes, sir.
This will be negative. So negative, 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 positive, and this is anyway positive, positive, and this is negative. So I will get overall positive value. So that means below minus 9, the graph will be positive. So the graph will somewhat will be
There
like
is
this.
3 minus. No, sorry.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 minus.
I just didn't notice the.
Okay. So the polynomial before minus 9 will be positive. So that means it will be above x-axis.
Yes, I
And
did
it
it.
should, yeah.
I did this way only.
So it should touch minus 9, right? Because minus 9 is a root.
Root.
And after that it should go to minus 4 here.
Yes.
So there should be a turn and it
Yes.
should come here. And after that,
And then 2 it will bounce.
see, after that you see the multiplicity of minus 4. If the multiplicity of minus 4 is odd, you just cross.
Yes.
You just cross the x-axis. And again I have to reach 2 because 2 is a root.
2 is a bounce.
And once I reach 2, I look at the multiplicity. If the multiplicity is even, you should bounce back. You should bounce back. So here the multiplicity is 2. So I will just bounce back onto the same positive x-axis. And even the 3 multiplicity is...
Again we bounce back.
3 multiplicity is 2. Again we bounce back. And you have to reach 4. And like this. 4 multiplicity is odd. So it goes. It won't bounce back.
Can you please explain the end behavior at minus 9?
See, end behavior will come at minus infinity and plus infinity. There is no end behavior at minus 9.
No, sir. You had told before minus 9 it is positive now. How did you tell, sir? Yes, you had told, but I didn't get it. Can you please repeat it?
How did I tell this? You just take randomly one real number.
So it's 8 o'clock now. You told that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So it's just like you just take one random number and you just substitute that random number into this polynomial. You check the sign of that p of x. If it is positive, the whole end behavior of this will be positive. If it is negative, the whole end behavior of this.
Sir, I have put the random number and I got the increasing value, means positive. But in option, it is showing that it is decreasing in the interval -9 to -infinity.
Okay. See, decreasing, increasing. Can you mute? Can you mute?
It is actually decreasing at that point.
Uh-huh. So it's just you decreasing and increasing is different from positive and negative. Okay. Decreasing means when you walk along x-axis, or if you increase x, if your y value or if your p of x value also increases, then it is increasing. If you increase x and your p of x is decreasing, opposite sign, then that will be a decreasing function. See, in this interval,
Can you repeat?
in this interval, you see, if I move along x-axis, that means if I see the value of p of x here, and if I see value of p of x here, and if I see value of p of x here, so my x is increasing. I am increasing x. So this may be -12, and this is -10. This is -9.5 something. So -12 is less than -10. -10 is less than -9.5. So I am increasing my x. So when I increase my x, my p of x should also increase in order to say that that is an increasing function. But here, if you see, -12 value is greater than -10 value is greater than -9.5 value. So actually, when I increase x, my p of x is decreasing. So this is a decreasing function.
Guys,
Sir,
your
please
mic
go
is
on
so
mute.
irritating.
Guys, please go on mute.
Yeah.
Hello,
So
sir.
yeah,
Sir,
simply if you
Sir,
see, if it is like if
Sir,
it is like
sorry to interrupt.
yeah,
Central, can you mute Central, sir?
Roshan,
Sir, just one question I have.
uh,
So there is a minus sign outside. So it can start from minus means from downwards, right?
no. See, this minus sign doesn't tell you which side it starts. You should actually check the sign of the end behavior. The end behavior means any pick randomly any number and just substitute it in the polynomial.
sir, good morning, sir. Your voice is very low. Can you mute everyone, please?
Yeah. Okay, Roshan, please be on mute and listen. Okay, your background noise is too high. So in order to check the end behaviors, what you have to do is you just pick the left end most of the roots order. You keep the roots in the order, and you pick the left end root and the right end root, and you randomly pick one number left side of the left hand root, like -10 or -12 or something, and just plug it in the polynomial. So just substitute -10 here. So -10 plus 9, -10 plus 4, -10 minus 2 whole square, -10 minus 3 whole square, -10 minus 4. Now you see, this is negative, this first part is negative, and this is -1, this is -6, and this is -12 whole square, -13
There
whole
is a
square.
negative sign before, like initial.
Yeah, there is a negative sign. That negative sign is this. Okay, this is negative, this is negative, this is negative, and this is negative. So there are four negative signs. So when you product them, that will be positive. That will become positive. And these two are just squares. This will become anyway positive. And we have four positive terms. And the product will become positive, not negative. So if the product becomes positive, your p of x value is positive. So for these, all the real numbers which are left side of the -9 will be positive. So that means the graph will be above x-axis.
Means sir, y is positive, right? So that's why it
Yeah,
is.
y is positive.
Yeah, that's why it is increasing on positive y side.
Hmm.
Okay.
Sir,
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 how is
just
the
interrupting one thing.
One,
Sir, like
one,
we have to give values like -12, -10 to check that whether the graph is increasing or decreasing. Because
Ah,
if we check only with one value, might be we can make the graph wrong. Is it like that, sir?
See, anyway, if you know how to draw the graph, when you see the graph from graph perspective, I will tell you very easily. If the graph is like this form or this form, like it is coming from above to below, it is decreasing. But if it is going from below to above, like where like this, from here to here, sorry, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, actually you are starting from below and you are going above. So in these intervals, the graph is increasing. So
So
by
you
looking at
started this graph from the 9, right?
from the minus infinity,
You
from
have
the
started this.
One more question, sir.
uh,
Sir, suppose we don't have this minus,
uh,
then what is the graph in this case? Suppose outside minus not there.
this graph. If this is not
Yeah.
there,
Outside also will trigger.
then it will be opposite, no? Then that will be nothing but
Okay.
opposite.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Hello,
Thanks.
sir. Sir,
Okay.
sir, one doubt, sir. Continuation, please.
Continuation, I will come back. Okay. I
Sir,
have
why
to.
Sir,
2 to 4? Why it is not 1 to 1, and after 4, why it is 1 to 1? So it is confusing for me. Yeah.
See, 2 to 4, why it is not 1 to 1? Because you see, for two different values, you will get the
Same.
same y value.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh.
That is okay.
sir,
We will come back.
for my
We'll come
sir,
back.
sir,
Eknath, you saw that?
sir, my one-to-one interval is different for the options.
Which one is that?
Can you please check it that minus infinity to -4 union 4 to infinity.
Minus infinity to -4.
-4 union 4 to infinity.
So in this interval, it is not 1 to 1.
Yes, sir. How I want to know that.
If you draw the line, it will cut at 2 points.
Yeah.
Eknath, we have discussed it.
Okay. You see, if you draw in this 9 to -4 interval, it's like a quadratic. If it is a quadratic, you will have definitely there will be two x's such that it will have the same y. Or you just draw the horizontal line here. It cuts at two different points, so it fails the 1 1 property. Okay. If you extend also, it will touch one more time. Okay.
Sir, interval is minus infinity to -4.
-4 is here, right?
Minus infinity from minus infinity to still -4, na?
See, minus infinity to -4, right?
Yes, sir.
In this interval, the graph is like this. Okay, minus infinity to -4, the graph is like this. In this graph, if I draw a horizontal line here, it cuts at two different places. Or it is simply saying that for two different x, you have the same y.
But sir, for -4, it is open interval, so should we consider that?
See, -4 is open or closed, it doesn't matter. Before -4, the graph is like this. Okay.
So
you can
it is
pick,
not on to, sir.
it is not on to.
Okay. They are both in the different places, sir. The 2 points.
Yeah,
they look
different.
like they're in the same line.
No, they are two different points.
Okay, sir.
On the number line, this is -4. This is something like -4.5, maybe, we don't know. And this is something like -6.5 or something. It may have the same y value. It's not accurate. These are not accurate values. I just took random value. For two different x's, you will have the same y.
So from 4 to infinity, it is 1 to 1, right?
From 4 to infinity, it is 1 to 1. So if you are considering only 4 to infinity, the graph is like this. So even if you draw straight lines, horizontal lines, it will cut at only one place. Okay, it's already 8:11. So we have to discuss a lot of things. If I still be here, you might miss the complete revision session. Okay, let me go.
Sir, today you discuss mock test, right?
Yeah, I will discuss.
Oh, thank you.
So whenever the topic comes, you just stop me and just redirect me to the mock question. Okay.
Okay.
So here we are here now. So we are discussing transitive relation yesterday. So let transitive relation, please be on mute.
Sir, one thing, mock test solution is not uploaded yet.
It will get uploaded. Okay, just be in this session. Okay, just forget every other stuff and everything. Just listen to me. If you listen to me, it might help you for quiz.
Yes,
If you
sir. Please
distract me,
continue.
yeah, if you distract me, I may get lost, and you will also not productive. You won't get anything productive from me from this session.
Yes,
So
sir.
please be silent. Listen carefully. Okay. So yeah, we are discussing transitive relation yesterday. Transitive relation is if I have any relation R, binary relation R on set S, that means any relation R defined on S cross S, subset of S cross S, then R is said to be transitive if and only if for every pair of elements X, Y and Y, Z. Okay, for every pair. So first and foremostly we have to pick a pair such that in the first pair the last element and the second pair first element should be same, such that you have to pick a pair. For every such pair you should have, or if I have these pairs, which that implies that I should also have XZ, a third element in my relation R. If and only if this condition satisfied, then only R is said to be transitive. Okay. Now let's see some examples which I am discussing yesterday, and you will get some idea. So if I have a set S 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my set S is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if you see, R1 is defined like 1, 2, 2, 3 and 1, 3. So there are 3 elements in R1. Now let us check whether this is transitive or not. So what my primary thing to pick? I have to pick pair of elements such that the last element in first first pair and the first element in the second pair should be same. So I will just check for those pairs. So there is 1, 2, 2, 3 in my pair. In my relation, there is 1, 2, 2, 3 pair, correct, such that it is like X, Y, Y, Z. So for this particular pair, I should have 1, 3 in my relation. So just check whether 1, 3 is present in relation R or not. So 1, 3 is present. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3 is present. So with respect to this element, this is transitive. Now take 2, 3 now. 2, 3 as the first pair, first element in the pair. So if you take 2, 3, just check for any other element which starts with 3. So there is no other element which starts with 3. So with respect to this element also it is transitive. Now just take the last element 1, 3. So just check whether there is any other element which starts with 3 so that it forms a pair. So there is no other element which starts with 3. So with respect to this element also it is transitive. So once with respect to every element it is transitive, we say R1 is transitive. So this R1 is transitive. Okay. Now see R2. So when I come to R2, there is only one element. There is only one element, and that is also 1, 4. So if I see, so this is one kind of hint or shortcut or note maybe. If you have only one element in your relation, then close your eyes and just tick that is a transitive relation. Because we don't have pairs, we have only one element, we don't even have pair to check for the third element. So with respect to this single element, this is transitive, and we say this is a transitive relation. So that means notice, if you have only single element in your relation, then that particular relation is transitive. Okay, you may have anything, you may have the identity element also 1, 1, simple 1, 1. Your R2 can be 1, 1. Even this is transitive. If you have any single element, that is transitive. So R2 is also transitive. Now R3. Now R3, the same thing. 1, 3, the elements are 1, 3 and 1, 4. So I take 1, 3 as my first element in the pair and I check for the second element. So which starts with 3. So there are no any other element which starts with 3. So I conclude with respect to 1, 3, this is transitive. Purendu Shukla, can you please be on mute? Okay. Same goes with 1, 4. So if I choose 1, 4 as my first element, xy, there is no other pair which starts with 4. Correct? So there is no need to check for the third element. So with respect to this and this is transitive. Now R4. Now when you see R4, when we come to R4, you pick the first element 2, 4. When you pick 2, 4, 2, 4 as my first element, now I have to pick another element which starts with 4. Just check for any other element which starts with 4. Yes, there is another element which starts with 4, 4 comma 1. So 4 comma 1. With respect to this particular pair 2 comma 4, 4 comma 1, now check for 2 comma 1. So remove 4, 2 comma 1. So whether 2 comma 1 should be in my R4. So check whether 2 comma 1 is in your R4 or not. So if you check, yes, 2 comma 1 is in your R4. Okay. With respect to 2 comma 4, 4 comma 1, there is 2 comma 1. So this is transitive with respect to 2 comma 4. Now move to the next element. There is 1 comma 2. So 1 comma 2 and I have to pick another pair, another element which starts with 2. So there are two elements which starts with 2. One is 2 comma 4 and another one is 2 comma 1. So we need to check for both the pairs. So one time 2 comma 4, I need to have 1 comma 4 and 1 comma 2 and 2 comma 1, I need to have 1 comma 1. So both 1 comma 4 and 1 comma 1 should be in my R4. So just check whether 1 comma 4 and 1 comma 1 are there. Yes, there is 1 comma 4 and 1 comma 1. So with respect to 1 comma 2 also R4 is transitive. Like this you have to check. You have to go for the third element and it is 1 comma 4. So once I have 1 comma 4, I need to pick one more element which starts with 4. So there is one more element which starts with 4 which is 4 comma 1. So with respect to this pair of elements, we need to have 1 comma 1 in your R4. So there is 1 comma 1. So with respect to 1 comma 4 also it is transitive. Similarly check for 4 comma 1. So 4 comma 1, 1 comma 1, 4 comma 1. So 4 comma 1 is there. And similarly 4 comma 1, 1 comma 2. So with respect to this 4 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 4 comma 2 should be there. Correct, right? So now let's come to the fourth element. You pick the fourth element. So 4 comma 1. So with respect to 4 comma 1, I need to have 1 comma. So with respect to this pair 4 comma 1 and 1 comma 2, I need to have 4 comma 2 in my R4. Is 4 comma 2 there? No. So if 4 comma 2 is missing in our R4. So therefore we say with respect to this 4 comma 1, so I got a pair 4 comma 1 and 1 comma 2. So I got a pair 4 comma 1, 1 comma 2 belonging to my R4, but 4 comma 2 does not belongs to R4. Therefore here we will stop and conclude that R4 is not transitive.
Sir, 4 comma 1 and 1 comma 4 is there. So we can say 1 comma 1 is also there. So it will be transitive.
Yes, I have given you one pair which fails this condition. 4
So this
comma
will
1,
not
1 comma.
again. This will not work for again.
No. Even if you find one such pair like this which breaks the condition, then it is not transitive.
Sir, we have to justify the every relation.
Sir, then R3 also not transitive.
So why
No, sir.
R3 is transitive then, sir? Because 3 comma 4 is not there.
See, 3
One,
4.
one, yeah, 1
It
3
it
1
is
4 means
transitive with itself.
See, 1 3. I just
no,
said.
no. We are checking for the relation. No, how come we can in one relation we can say that transitive nature? We are checking for the element, and in one relation we are saying we are trying to check the transitive relation for the entire relation. It should be uniform, right? Are we checking the
It is
transitive
uniform if you
See,
listen
It
to
is
sir
unique.
carefully.
Yeah.
See, we are checking for every
Sir,
element
please
in
can you
every
explain
relation.
R3 again?
See, R3, you have to have pairs, okay? For 1 3, just give me some another element which starts with 3.
Okay, so if there is a pair, there needs to exist a third one which satisfies the transitive property.
Correct. If
Okay,
there
so
is
if there is
no
no
such,
pair,
we
then we
conclude
say
that we, with respect to that element, it is transitive, and we move to the next element.
By
okay.
default transitive.
By default transitive, and we move to the next element. That is what here also
Okay.
we did. So with respect
Okay.
to 2 comma 4, it is transitive. 1 comma 2, it is transitive. 1 comma 4, it is transitive.
Okay,
But when
2
it comes,
comma 4 is transitive because there is no 4 comma 2 at all.
see, 2 comma 4 is transitive because there is 2 comma 4, 4 comma 1, and with respect to this pair
We
2
have 2
comma 4,
comma
4
1.
comma 1, we
Okay.
have 2 comma 1.
Okay,
But
sir.
sir, in R3, how it comes transitive?
Because there is no such pair starting with 3.
And it is transitive to itself.
You have to check the last element and check whether it is any another group which is starting with same element. Now check transitivity. If it is there, then it is transitive, otherwise not.
Yeah, if there is no existing
And
pair,
if there
then
is
it
no
will
such
be
pair existing, that would be transitive.
Okay, okay.
Sir, 1 comma 4 is if it is transitive, then why not 4 comma 1?
Why not 4 comma 1 is because we have got a contradiction that there is two pair, there is a pair 4 comma 1 and 1 comma 2 in my relation. With respect to those pair, I need to have 4 comma 2 in my relation, whereas 4 comma 2 is missing in my relation, which breaks the
But
property of
if we do
transitivity.
not take that thing, we will just take the pair like we take in 1 comma 4. Just like in 1 comma 4, we did 1 comma 4, 4 comma 1, and then we search for 1 comma 1, right?
No, but
And
we
then
have to
same
check
thing
with
it
both the
happens with
sets.
4 comma 1. The 4 comma 1 is there, then 1 comma 4 is there, then 1 comma 1 also is there. But same thing will happen for 4
Also, you
comma
should
1.
check for this pair, right? Also, I just checked for here. You see, for 1 comma 2, I just checked with 2 comma 4 and also 2 comma 1.
Yes, that I get it. They will confuse with 1 comma 4 and 4 comma 1.
See, 1 comma 4, 4 comma 1, you can check with 1 comma 4, you will have 1 comma 1.
I'm just saying that thing.
Okay, this is true, but this is false, na?
This is false, but this is
Even
true.
if
na?
one relation, even if one
Check
relation is
for
false,
each and everything.
yes.
Each
Even
and
if one
everything
relation
you
is
should
false,
check.
we will not take it. So that is
Okay.
not.
For
So we
every
have to,
pair.
if there is 4 comma 1, then we have to check for 1 comma for everything, 1 comma 1 and 1 comma 2 for both.
Yeah, 1 comma 1,
Okay,
1
okay,
comma
okay.
2,
Then
1
now I
comma
get
4.
it. Yeah,
Yeah?
now I
For every pair, for every such pair.
Okay.
If at all pair
Is
doesn't exist,
there any 4 comma 2? Then we say that this is transitive.
yeah.
Okay,
And we
now
will
I
move
get
to
it.
the next element. Okay. So if you have pair, then only we will check. If you don't find pair, if you are having single element, with respect to that element, we say that is transitive, and we move to the next element.
So we'll not bother about that of 2, 3, and 4 if we'll talk about R3. Okay.
If
Excuse me, sir.
one thing is failed, just like 4 comma 1 is failed, so we will search for next thing, or we will say this is not transitive.
No. Even if it fails for one pair, it is not transitive.
This is not non-transitive, right?
Not transitive.
Then we will not go for next element or not.
We shouldn't go for the next element. Okay. Even the same thing goes for R5. So you see, in R5 there is 1 comma 2, 2 comma 3, but there is no 1 comma 3. So R5 is also not transitive.
Sir, just interrupting
You
one thing,
need
that means we have to check whether the relation, if the relation exists, whether the relation breaks or not. Because if one relation break, we can say that it is not transitive,
yeah.
sir. That
If
should be
you
the objective.
yeah. If you find two elements in your relation such that it is like x, y, and y, z, but you are not unable to find the third element in any permutation, in any way, if you got one contradiction, then you say that is not transitive. You just have to find two pairs such that the third pair doesn't exist. If you are unable to find, then that is a transitive relation.
So that means I believe our objective should be to find the contradiction.
Contradiction, yeah. If there are more number of elements in your R4, then you might go from contradiction. If there are only few elements like 3 or 4, like 2 or 3, you can just by taking each element.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we know reflexive, symmetric, transitive. If you combine all these three, that is equivalence. Okay. If a relation is reflexive, symmetric, transitive at the same time, then that particular relation is called equivalence relation. So this is one example. So for reflexive, you need to check whether 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 is there in
Sir,
your
will you please little bit scroll up so I can take the screenshot of that?
This PDF will be shared to you after.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you see these 4 identity elements are present in my relation R1. So this is reflexive. For symmetric, you don't need to check for identity element. For symmetric, we have 2, 3. We need to have 3, 2. Yes, we have 3, 2. And for 3, 2, we have 2, 3. For 4, 1, we have 1, 4.
This
for
is
1, 4,
symmetric.
4, 1. So this is symmetric.
Sir, sorry to interrupt you. Will you also discuss mock test as well, mock test questions of polynomials?
I said I will discuss. I have to discuss a lot of things.
Actually, I joined late due to some work, so that's why I joined.
Okay.
Sorry.
We will see. See, now for transitive, you see there is 1, 1, 1, 4. I need to have 1, 4. I have 1, 4. Like this, if you check any.
This is a transitive check.
This is going to be transitive. This is, if you check, this is going to be transitive for each and every element. So you pick one element, you get the other pair, you check for the third element. You will get for every element, you will get it is transitive. For every element, if it is transitive, overall the relation will be transitive. So this is reflexive, symmetric, transitive. So this particular R1 is equivalence relation.
Venkat, one query. Sorry. So for transitive, we are checking for each element. Similarly, for other relation like identity and reflexive, we need to check each element whether that satisfied that condition or not. Is that correct?
For every relation, we take one element and check for the other elements.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, what if there is a set only 1, 1 set is equivalence, sir?
What is?
Sir, there's a relation, sir. Only 1, 1, sir.
Only 1, 1. Only 1, 1 is not even reflexive. For reflexive, you need to have all these 4 elements.
Okay.
Okay, let's come to functions. So relation function is actually a subset of relation. A function is actually a relation in which each element in set X is mapped with exactly one element in set Y. So we have defined relations between two sets, right? A, B. We said A, B. Now it is like X, Y. So there are two sets X, Y. And we defined relation between these two sets saying that it is subset of this Cartesian product, and we define some relations on it. Among those relations, if you're in your relation, if one element in this set X is mapped to only one element in this set Y, then those type of relations are called functions. So in short, we say in a function there should not be two pairs with the same first element. So if I say in my relation 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, 3, 4. So this one is paired with 2 and this 1 is pairing with 4. So this is not a function. So what we have to check is, if I have given you a relation, you should check there should not be any pairs with the same first element. So here I have two elements which has first element same, which is 1. So 1 is mapping, this is nothing but 1 is mapping to 2, 1 is mapping to 4, 2 is mapping to 3, 3 is mapping to 4. So in this case, 1 is actually mapping to two different elements. Okay, therefore this is not a function. So what you have
Sir,
to
I
check
have a
is,
doubt. So, sir, injective will take place for every function.
Injective
Will
no.
take place for every
No,
function
no.
because for each one input we have a different output.
I didn't say different output. I said only one output. Different
Okay.
output is different from one output.
So one output means we have only one output. We don't have two outputs for the same x.
Yeah.
But different output. Okay, okay.
Different inputs can have the same output.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But it should be only one. Like the cardinality should be one of the output.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So this is function. So this is defined like this. So we denote like this: f semicolon x to y denotes that f is a function from set x to set y, where x we call it as domain, y we call it as the codomain. So domain is set of all input values and codomain is set of all possible output values. And there is another word called range, which is actually the actual set of outputs. So when I input all x's, whatever the outputs I get, if I club it into a set, then that particular set is called range. For example, if you see examples, see 1 is mapping to b. So x is one set and y is one set. So this is the mapping of a function. 1 is mapping to b, 2 is mapping to c, 4 is mapping to c, 3 is mapping to a. So for every input, we have only one output. Correct. So this is a function. And in this, if you see, input 3 has two outputs. So one output is A and another output is D. So if I have two outputs for a single input, then this is not a function.
So, but that can be called a relation, right, sir?
See, this is a relation, this is not a function.
Okay, sir.
Okay. In this function, if I wanted to talk about domain, so domain will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And codomain will be A, B, C, D. And range will be
A, B, C.
A, B, C. So the actual outputs. Okay. So this is domain, codomain, range, function, which is not a function. So, but this is a relation, but it is not a function. So for function, for every input, we need to have only one output. That particular output is distinct for every different input, that is called injective. So there are injective, surjective, bijective, but it is not that important now. So you don't need to worry about this too much. But injective function means if in a function, for every different inputs, if I get different outputs, then that is injective function. So here in the same example, this is not an injective function because 2 and 4 are giving me the same output C. If 4 is mapped to something to D, if it is like this, then you see for every different input, we have different outputs. So then this will be an injective function. And for surjective function, if your range is equal to codomain, then the function is called a surjective function. So you compute codomain, you know codomain, you compute range. If your range is equal to codomain, then we say that particular function is a surjective function.
Sir, then just like you showed, if 4 is mapped to D, then it is also a surjective function because codomain and range become same.
Correct. Then here the same example becomes surjective Now the range will be ABCD. ABCD is equal to this codomain. So this particular thing is injective as well as surjective. So if a function is injective and surjective at the same time, that particular functions are called bijective functions. Okay.
Sir, can you give the another example, please? For
You don't
injective, subjective, and
need. When I said you don't need, you don't stress on that. You will. Okay. Which are all the important topics I will discuss. Okay. I don't leave you. I don't leave anyone. Okay. So now a little important topic is like, how do you find domain and range of a function? If a function is given to you, how do we?
So bijective, what did you say, sir?
It's just like both. It should be both injective and surjective.
So just one clarification. When I say subjective, it is every output in the codomain should have a input,
Pre-image.
not the range.
Pre-image.
Range means it is if it is having a range which is different from the codomain, that means it is not surjective.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So now see, if I have given you a function like f of x is equals to root x. So how do you find the domain and range? So in order to find the domain, so we need to check for well-defined things. So for square root of x, what all x I can input? So square root of x, if this square root should be a real number, then my x should be
all positive.
Greater or equal to 0, sir.
Greater than or equal to 0. So the only values, if I put greater than or equal to 0 in this square root, I will get a real output. If I have input something negative number into it, it will give me a complex, and we treat complex as not defined things. Okay. In this course, complex is not defined. Okay. So what we have to check is, in order to find the domain, you have to check for all x such that your function f of x is well defined. So well defined means which excluding not defined cases. So now if I have to exclude the not defined cases in square root of x, I need to take only all the positive 0 and positive real numbers. So square root of x is well defined only if x is greater than or equal to 0. Therefore, the domain will be, domain means what all inputs can be given to this function. What all real numbers can be the inputs. So what all real numbers can I input in this function is all x greater than or equal to 0. So when I wanted to show it in interval form, it will be like this, 0 to infinity closed. So I can input any real number which is in between 0 to infinite. So I will get a positive output, not positive output, I will get a well-defined output. Therefore, the domain of f will be 0 to infinite. And what about the range?
Sir, all real numbers.
All real numbers?
No, sir, for few values we won't.
No, sir, because if it is all real numbers, we cannot take negative root. It's become complex.
All natural.
The graph will be like this. Now tell me the range. By looking at the graph, tell me the range.
Sir, it is positive.
To infinity.
Positive x-axis. 0 to positive x-axis. A positive y-axis, sir.
Yeah.
0 to infinity, plus infinity.
0 to infinity, correct. Range of f is 0 to infinite. Close. So I said codomain is R. So whether this is surjective or not?
No, sir.
No, sir, not subjective, because to become subjective, the codomain has to be equal to the range.
Correct. So this is not a surjective. Okay. Now let's see.
Sir,
here.
Is there any impact for this square bracket and the
square bracket is we are including 0. Open bracket we are excluding 0.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now there is another question. F R to R is defined as f of x is equal to x square. Now my function is f of x is equal to x square. Now you see, when I said f R to R, it is given that domain is R and the codomain is R. Now find the range of f and check whether the function f is surjective or not. Okay. So in order to find the range, how do we find the range for x square? So when I input any real number, so domain is my set of real numbers. So when I input any real number, I will get only positive output, right? Can I get
Yes, sir.
negative output?
No, sir.
No, right?
No,
Whatever I
sir.
take, it will square it up and it will give me the positive output. Okay. So when you see, we know that set of all possible output values, set of all actual output values are positive real numbers including 0. Correct? Therefore, the range of this function x square will be closed interval 0 to infinity. Okay. Now codomain is R and the range is 0 comma infinity, like the first question itself. So hence codomain is not equal to the range. The given function is not surjective. So this is how you say whether a function is surjective or not. You need to check whether the codomain is equal to range or not. If it is
Sir, how can we say
No,
that
it's
the
not
given function is injective,
equal,
sir?
na? It's
Hmm?
not. It's not equal
It's
because
not
we will get only the positive things. So we'll not get whole R. So it will not be surjective.
it is
Not even
surjective.
injective.
Yeah, not even injective. But here in subjective case, it is not subjective. Correct. Whatever you said is correct.
Sir,
Hmm.
so like how to find domain and range when a graph of polynomial is given, sir?
See, when a graph is given, domain means you just see in which interval on x-axis the graph is there. That particular interval is domain.
Okay, sir.
And on y-axis, in which interval your graph is defined, that is the range.
Okay.
If your graph is like this, so your graph is defined from here to here. So that means from here to here is your domain. So minus something like minus 10 to 10. So minus 10 to 10 is your domain. And your range is from here to somewhere here. So your range is here to here. So minus 5 to plus 5.
Sir, but in question of activity 1.11, sir, it's different, sir. Like it's confusing.
Even the same thing, right? Even in the activity also, it will be something like this pyramids.
Sir, yes, sir, but it's not touching the x-axis, sir.
If it see, no need to touch the x-axis. If it is like this, your range will be something like here to here, and your domain will be from here
Sir,
to
like you're telling the minimum y value to the maximum.
maximum y value will be the range, and minimum x to maximum x is the domain.
The codomain is a real number, sir, or?
Codomain, we define it.
Okay. That is given.
Which will be given. We cannot find codomain.
Yeah.
Codomain will be given to it. Okay, so those are the important topics in chapter 1. Now let's come to the chapter 2. So chapter 2 is basically straight lines. So in straight lines, you know quadrants and everything, right? This is a small textbook. We are going to release it right after this session. So this contains detailed elaborations. So you know rectangular coordinate system which has 2 axes and 4 quadrants. So each quadrant, so this is a positive quadrant. This is called origin, and this is x-axis, and this is y-axis, and this is positive quadrant where both x and y are positive. Here
Yes,
x
sir.
is negative, y is positive in quadrant 2. Here y is negative, x is negative. This is negative quadrant, quadrant 3. And here x is positive and y is negative. So you can see some points have been plotted. So that is how this is called xy plane or rectangular coordinate system. And yeah, so the same thing. X-axis is sometimes called abscissa. So these are technical terms. Okay. Y-axis is called sometimes ordinate. So once you know the rectangular coordinate system, the first and foremost thing is to find the distance between any 2 points in the given plane. Okay. In the Cartesian plane, so this xy plane is also called as Cartesian plane because Cartesian has found these things. So the distance between any 2 points x1 y1 and x2 y2 is given like. Please be on mute. We are running short of time. Okay, this is called this is the distance between 2 points, whereas it is equal to square root of x2 minus x1. So you subtract the x coordinates and square it, and you add it to subtract the y coordinates and square it, and you take the square root of it. So that will be the distance.
Sir, one point I think here, whichever difference we take, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
because
matter.
ultimately
Anyway,
we are squaring.
Yeah, you are squaring. So yeah, some kind of questions are like this. So there are 2 points. So this is x1 comma y1. You just have to find what is x1, what is y1, what is x2, what is y2. So you take x2, y2. So here you see x1 is 2, y1 is 4, x2 is minus 4, y2 is 12. You just plug it in the given formula. So you just calculate the value, you will get 10 like this. Or if the questions are like if the distance between the 2 points is 5 units, and we will give you something like some variable inside the point, either y coordinate or x coordinate we won't give you, but the same thing we have given you the distance here. So we know x1, x2, y2 and also the distance. So you just substitute in the given formula. We will get under root x2 minus x1 will be minus 3 minus 1, that will be minus 4 whole square, or 1 minus of minus 3, that will be 4 whole square, plus 4 minus 5 whole square under root. So this distance is given as 5. So equate it to 5 and simplify, you will get y can be either 1 or 7. So there are two possible cases, possible values for y, which is 1 and 7. Like this. So distance between 2 points can be like this. Questions can be like this, straightforward. But if you include data, but don't confuse, we just include something like Pranav is at point this, that guy is at another point there. So that is nothing but those are the 2 points, how far they are to each other. That is actually the distance we are asking. So you just have to do that. Okay. After distance, we have sections formula, where if I have a straight line segment, and if I cut that line segment with a point, then in which ratio will the point cut the given line segment is what called sections formula. So the sections formulas are like this. If a point P is cutting internally, so you have one point x1 comma y1, and you have another point B A x2 comma y2. So this particular point divides. So the ratio means nothing but if I have m plus n, if I divide this AB into m plus n parts, so m parts will lie left to P and n parts will lie right to P. Okay, that is what ratio. So m parts will be left side of P and n parts are right side of P. Then we can actually find the coordinates of P by using this formula. M multiplied with opposite x2, n multiplied with x1 divided by m plus n will give you the x coordinate. Similarly, for y coordinate, m multiply with y2, n multiply with x2, y1 divided by m plus n.
Sir, just can you repeat what you just told, that dividing the line into m and n components? I just
see, just the ratio.
Yeah. Yes.
That's the ratio. If you divide AB into m plus n parts, smaller parts.
Yes, sir.
M parts will lie on the left side and n parts will lie on the right side. So that is what m is to n means.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is the ratio in which it cuts. So this is m and this is n and p, xy, x2, x1. So internal. You don't need to worry about external cut. So this is not that important. We just gave you for your understanding. Now let's come to solving the examples. So you see the find the point. So we need to find the point that divides the line segment P and Q internally in the ratio 1:2. So we have point P 4 comma 5.
Guys,
Point
request
P 2.
everyone to go on mute, please.
I just muted everyone. 8 comma 8. So it is given. We have it is given, and also the ratio is given. So let's say this is point A, cutting in the ratio 1:2. We have to find the coordinates of find the point A. So what I have to do is I can find x by multiplying 1 with 8. So 1 multiplied with 8, 2 multiplied with 2 divided by 1 plus 2. So I will get 8 plus 4 by 3, 12 by 3, which is 4. So this is 4. X coordinate of A is 4. Similarly, y is 1 multiplied by 8 plus 2 multiplied by 5, 1 plus 2. You will get 8 plus 10 divided by 3, 18 by 3, which is 6. So 6. 4 comma 6 is the point. So this is how we find the point that internally cuts in the ratio 1:2.
Sir, just one thing. Do we need to check whether that thing cuts internally or externally, or we'll just move with this formula?
No. You just go by this formula. As of now, you just go by this formula.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now the question can be like this: find the coordinates of the midpoint of the points P and Q. So when I say I didn't give the ratio.
Sir, it is midpoint. We can, sir, add and
Yeah.
just divide by 2.
Yeah. Midpoint means it is actually we have given the ratio invisibly. So the midpoint divides 2 points in the ratio 1:1. Okay, the midpoint will be at equal distance from the 2 points. So that will be in 1:1. So the ratio is given again. 2 points are given. We need to find the coordinates. That's it. Use the formula. Same formula you will get the midpoint. Midpoint will be at 2 comma 0.
Sir, I believe, sir, for midpoint, I think, sir, we don't need to use. We can directly add the
You
two
can
coordinates
directly
and divide by 2.
Yeah, you can directly add the coordinates and divide by 2. So that is also enough. And next thing is area of a triangle. So there might be many questions or some questions. You might not realize that this is actually the question on area of the triangle, but it is simpler area of the triangle. Whenever there is 3 points are given somewhere in the question, first thing whether that can be related to area of a triangle or not. Okay. Area of a triangle, if 3 points are given on xy plane, we can compute the area of the triangle that formed by these 3 points using the formula here. So you can take clockwise or anti-clockwise, that doesn't matter. But once you fix the x1, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3, then you shouldn't change the order. So if I take x1, I need to product it with y2 minus y3. When I take x2, now y3 minus y1. When I take x3, then y1 minus y2. So I took anti-clockwise direction. Even you can take clockwise direction, that doesn't matter. When I take x1, you subtract y3 to y2. When I take x3, you subtract y2 from y1 from y2. And when I take x2, you can subtract y1 minus y3. You can do that. But once you fix the anti-clockwise or clockwise, you fix for one notation. That's it. So this is the formula. Anyway, we are using modulus, right? So that is where this anti-clockwise or clockwise doesn't matter. Even you take clockwise or anti-clockwise, your sign might change. That's it. But as we are using modulus here, because area of a triangles are always positive. Okay. So we use modulus and divide it by half. And yeah, What is the area of a triangle formed by the points 0, 10, minus 20, minus 30, 10, 30? So now you fix x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3. Okay, once you fix it throughout your solution. So whenever I say x1, you need to pick only 0. Whenever I say x2, you need to pick minus 20, like this. Just substitute in the given formula. If you substitute in the given formula, see x1 0, x2 minus 20, x3 10, y2 minus 30, y3 minus 30, y3 30, 30, 10, 10 minus 30. If you simplify this, we are going to get 0. Whenever you get area as 0,
the points are collinear, I believe, sir.
Yeah. So if you are getting area as 0, you can see the note here. If the area of a triangle formed by 3 points is 0, then the 3 points are collinear. Collinear means if I draw a straight line connecting P and R, Q lies on that point. Sorry, Q lies on that line. So I have P, I have Q, I have R. If I draw a straight line connecting P and R, Q will also lie
on the same line.
On the same line.
Sir,
Okay.
Got this point, sir, but I have a small doubt. Half into B into H, the base into height, the formula that we used to use. Is that not going to work here, sir? Should we use that?
It will work. It will work if you know
Same,
that
no?
form. It will work.
Simple. Okay, so it's just that we have to find the horizontal distance and then the vertical distance by subtracting x2 minus x1 and then y2 minus y1, and then make a half into b into h.
No. See, what if your triangles are triangle is like this?
Sir, just interrupting, sir. To use this formula, I think we have to draw the triangle and check, sir.
Yeah. Draw that. In order to use half BH, your height is not this height. Your height is this. You need to find
we
this
need
height.
to find
perpendicular
PR
distance.
Perpendicular
equation.
height.
And then from point to equation, we have a distance from that.
Yeah. That is little complicated to do.
So how to do, sir? Like in
Which one?
Like the other way you're explaining for half base into height.
See, half base into height you don't do, na. See, you
Yeah,
need to
so
find.
only when you have sufficient information, you can go with that. Otherwise, don't go with that
Yes,
type.
sir. This formula we can use.
Otherwise, it
This
becomes a
formula-
roundabout process for you to
Yeah.
find out the midpoint and then make a height calculated. It's an extra. Unless otherwise you have insufficient info, don't go for that.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we have a little complicated question here. What is the area of a triangle formed by the midpoints of line segments? Midpoints of the line segments. So you have to read the question. We are asking the area of a triangle formed by the midpoints of the line segments PQ, QR, and RP, where coordinates of PQR are given as 0, 0, 4, 0, and 4, 3 respectively. Okay. So you can use anyway. I use sections formula to find the midpoint first. So we need to find the midpoints first, right? So after finding the midpoints, those will be the 3 points for which I need to calculate the area. So for finding the midpoints, you can use sections formula, or you just divide it by add and divide it by 2.
Is it true that the area of a triangle formed by the midpoints is 1/4 of the area of the triangle?
Right.
So, sir, if we could have used, like, if we can use that, so instead of going in decimal, will that be also fine? Okay, sir.
Okay. So this is a standard approach which we follow. We find the midpoints first using sections formula. If you use sections formula, we get the midpoints at 2, 0, 4, 1.5, and 2, 1.5. Now we need to find the area of the triangle found by the points 2, 0, 4, 1.5, and 2, 1.5. Now we have 3 points. We have to find the area. So just make it x1, y1, x2, y2, x3, y3.
Sir, just one point. The person told that if a triangle is formed by the midpoint, that area will be 1/4 of the overall triangle.
Then we can also divide the area of the triangle y4 to get the area of the.
You can do that process. See, I just
Okay.
said this is a standard approach. Standard
Sir,
way we
sir,
do
you can continue.
it. Okay. So once you find the area, we are going to get 1.5 square units. So the area formed by the midpoints of these line segments are 1.5 square. Okay. These are about points, distance between points, area of triangle formed by the points. Till now we just talked about points, everything points related. From now on we talk about the straight lines.
Sir, 1 minute. Just go up, sir. Here, find the PQQRRP. P, coordinate of P is 0, 0, but here 2.0. Just explain.
See, these are midpoints of the line segments P, Q, QR, and RP. Whatever 2,
Okay,
0 is the
in this
midpoint
case,
of P.
first. Okay.
Okay. Okay, these are just the midpoint. These are not the points of P and Q. These are the midpoints of these line segments P, Q, QR, and RP.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Now we move to straight lines. So in order to talk about straight line, first and foremost thing we need to talk about is slope of a straight line. Slope of a straight line is actually gives you both the direction and steepness of a line. Okay, how steep it is with respect to x-axis. Like if a straight line is like this, how steep in which direction it is there, and how steep it is there, how inclined it is with respect to x-axis is nothing but the slope. So it is given by, numerically slope is given by delta change in y divided by delta change in x. So if I change x, how much change is happening with respect to y is what slope. So in order to find the slope, you need to have 2 points. So from x1 to x2, so when I move on x-axis, when my x coordinate is moving from x1 to x2, how much change is happening with respect to y coordinate is what slope is. So y2 minus y1 with respect to divided by x2 minus x1. So that is slope, and also that slope is equal to, if we have given you the inclination, tan theta will be the slope.
Sir, mock test, sir, question number 6 is based on this slope of straight lines.
Mock test.
Yeah, mock test question number 6.
Just a second.
Yes, sir. We need to find the slope.
Okay, just a second.
Sir, sir, firstly cover all revision topics.
Yes, sir. Then we go to the mock, sir.
Yes, sir.
Question number?
Sir, question number 6, sir.
अरे पढ़ा लेने दो यार पहले.
Okay, I will come back to that question. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here you can see in the pictorial representation also. So delta change in x, delta change in y divided by delta change in x. So and this is theta. Slope will be given as delta y by delta x, which will also be equal to tan theta. Okay, there are one problem. So what is the slope of the line passing through the origin and the point minus 3 comma 5? So origin means 0 comma 0. So we have given you 2 points now. How do we find the slope? So slope is nothing but this is x1. Let's say this is x1 x2. Sorry, x1 y1, x2 y2. So it's just like y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So 5 minus 0 by minus 3 minus 0. That will be minus 5 by 3. Slope will be like this. This is about the slope. Yeah.
Sir, just one point. I think here also, like the difference between the two lines, we need only whether we take y2 minus y1 or y1 minus y2. It doesn't make a difference, because we must maintain that order, that if we take y2 minus y1, then we take x2 minus x1. But if we take y1 minus y2, then we must take x1 minus x2. So that should be the approach.
Correct.
So, no,
Correct.
thank you, sir.
Yeah, anyway, I need that mock question. Can you tell me? Because I have only one example with me. Can you
Sir, question
read
number
the
6.
starting line?
Question number
Starting
6,
line.
sir.
Starting line.
Do I need to read, sir?
Is it like
Sir,
the
a
equation
diagram
of
is
the
given, sir.
So diagram is given, and which of the following option are correct with respect to triangle ABC? It's given, and options is given. Slope of the lines.
Okay. Wait. So this is actually considered a triangle ABC. The
Yes,
lines
sir.
are
Even I
equal.
have the same doubt in that question.
Okay. So when we do along with when I discuss this straight lines equation of straight lines, then I will take up this question.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We need to find out.
Yes, sir.
Now we have seen slopes. So with respect to slopes, there are some lines called parallel lines and perpendicular lines. So there is some characterization between these parallel lines with slope. So if I say two lines are parallel, if I have two lines L1 and L2 with slopes M1 and M2, then these two lines L1 and L2 are parallel if and only if M1 is equal to M2. That means if their slopes are equal, then the lines are parallel. Whereas in perpendicular case, two lines are perpendicular if the product of slopes is -1. Okay, this is some connection between slope and parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Now let's come to equation of a straight line. So equation of a straight line can be written in different forms. In general, we write the equation of a straight line in slope intercept form, which is y is equal to mx plus c. So why we write it in the slope intercept form is because it is easy to interpret and it is easy to draw on xy plane. So in general, we write it like this. But you can write this particular straight line equation in any other forms. Here, m denotes slope, c denotes intercept, y-intercept. So that is why this is named as slope intercept form. So that means if you see the equation directly, you need to calculate slope, you need to calculate y-intercept. You can straight away by looking at the equation, you can give the slope and y-intercept directly. So that is why this is named as slope intercept form. So y is equal to mx plus
So
c.
C is always intercept, sir.
C is y-intercept. Y-intercept.
Y-intercept.
If the equation is like this, of this form. Okay. So this form means the coefficient of y is 1. Okay, the coefficient of y should be 1. Then that particular c is intercept. Now there is another forms of straight lines, which are point slope form of a straight line, where we know one point and we know one slope. We know the slope. We know the slope and we know the point. We know the point means that particular line passing through this particular point, we know, and we also know the slope. Then the equation is given as y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. This you can actually simplify it and convert it into general whatever slope intercept form like this. Y is equal to mx my mx1 plus y1. Okay, so minus of y1. So again, this is like slope intercept form. You can convert one form to another form. Simple. So here also you can see y1, x1 and m. So this is slope and this is point. So that is why this is named as point slope form. Okay. And there is another form called 2-point form, where we know that the line passes through 2 points, x1, y1 and x2, y2. No other information. But we know when we have 2 points, we can actually find the slope of that point, the slope of that line by calculating by having these 2 points, like y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 is the slope, we know, right? Just replace that slope, just replace m with this y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So that will form a new form called 2-point form. Okay, yeah. And angle between two lines is one important topic. See, if you understand this angle between two lines, then whatever the mock question you have, that will be easy. See, if there are two lines L1 and L2, so let's say L1 and L2, where the slopes of this L1 and L2 are given as M1 and M2, and inclinations. When we say inclination means with respect to x-axis. So it is inclined alpha 1 degrees with respect to x-axis and alpha 2 with respect to positive x-axis. Okay, not the below one, above one. So this is alpha 1 and this is alpha 2. Okay, and also we assume that alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1. Now you see, this is alpha 1, this is alpha 2, and we have two angles made by these two lines between. So whenever there is an intersection, there are two angles in between. There is theta and there is phi. And first and foremost thing is theta plus phi is equals to 180 degrees. Okay. And this particular theta will be equal to alpha 2 minus alpha 1. No. So this be alpha 2 minus alpha 1.
Yes.
Yes. Right? Yeah. Theta will be alpha 2 minus alpha 1. You can see here, you just draw a straight line parallel to x-axis here. And this is alpha 1. Therefore, this will be alpha 1. Similarly, this will be alpha 2. From here, you can see theta, you can find it out, alpha 2 minus alpha 1. So once you have alpha 2 minus alpha 1, you just find tan theta. So tan theta is nothing but tan alpha 2 minus alpha 1. So if you know the tan formulas, it's okay. If you don't know the tan formulas, you don't worry. You just remember these formulas. So this will be tan alpha 2 minus tan alpha 1 divided by 1 plus tan alpha 1 tan alpha 2. So we know that tan alpha 2 is the slope of the second line. Tan alpha 1 is the slope of the first line. So m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m2 m1. M1 m2. Whatever. So you don't need this as of now. So concentrate on this.
Sir, just one point here. We have to mandatorily that alpha 2 is greater than alpha 1.
Not mandatorily, we assumed it.
Achha, okay.
We assumed alpha 2 is greater than.
Okay, sir.
So, sir, for any two lines given, the angle theta would be like inclination would be m2 minus m1, m plus m1.
Yeah. So bigger.
And the inclination would be upside, sir, like the way.
Yeah. We take from the positive x-axis.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, not positive x-axis. Anti-clockwise from x-axis. Okay. The same thing actually you can do it for tan phi also. Okay. Phi I just said, right? Phi is actually 180 minus theta. So if I wanted to find tan phi, it is actually tan 180 minus theta, which will be minus tan theta. It will just be the minus of it. So tan phi is actually be the m1 minus m2 divided by 1 plus m1 m2. That's it.
Sir, I have a doubt. How do you find which line is which slope is m1 and which slope is m2?
And they are all given to us. See, L1 has slope m1 with inclination alpha 1. L2 with m2 slope with inclination alpha 2.
No, so now we have a question, right? Like the triangle one, where they haven't written which one will be M1 and which one will be M2. So should we take the
You
bigger
can
one as
take,
M2?
no. You can take whichever you want.
Whichever can, but then the answer would vary, right?
See, it's not always M2 minus M1. If you take the bigger one, see, this is bigger one minus smaller one. Bigger slope minus smaller.
Bigger slope minus smaller slope.
Bigger
Okay.
inclination minus smaller inclination slope. Bigger inclination slope minus smaller inclination slope. Okay. We will discuss that problem. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. So these are the very different forms of equations of a straight line. But one thing is sure that from one form you can actually convert to another form. So there is general form, there is slope point form, there is slope intercept form, there is slope intercept form with x-intercept, which is not that important. So you don't need to worry about this. So this is important. An intercept form. The 2-point form is also not it. That is. Okay, these are some different forms of equations of a straight line. And yeah. So now we have seen the characterization of parallel lines and perpendicular lines. Now the actual condition, if I have given you two straight lines, like general form, if I have given you two straight lines in the general form, how will we conclude whether those two lines are parallel or perpendicular? So you have, if I have straight line A1x,
The
slope should be
constants are different,
same.
then they are parallel. Like if the A1x plus B1y is similar,
Sir,
C1, C2 are
Madam,
different, then they are
please
parallel.
hold on, madam. It's not the question asked for. It's the explanation being given. Please listen to it. Whether you
Yes,
know
sir.
it or not is not being checked.
Okay. So
Thanks.
you have to check you have to equate the ratios of x and y coefficient. So A1 by A2 should be equal to B1 by B2. So if this is true, A1 B2 is equals to B1 A2. So if this is true, then the lines are parallel to each other. So if this condition is satisfied, then the lines are parallel. The ratios of coefficients should be equal. So this should be equal to C1 by C2. Okay, the ratios are equal, then they are parallel. For perpendicular, you take the product of the coefficients. So A1 times A2, so here it is written, A1 times A2 should be equal to minus B1 times B2. Okay. If this is true, then the lines are perpendicular. This is how we check whether the given straight lines in the general form are parallel or perpendicular. Now let's take the example of mock and we will discuss it here. Okay, the example mock question states that we have given you 3 lines. Okay. Also, we have given you 2 lines equations and alpha and alpha. This is alpha. This is alpha.
Sir, can you share the mock question parallel to that one?
I cannot share parallel here. I can
So,
share only one thing at a time. So yeah, so here we have given you a triangle and we said there are 3 line segments A, B, B, C, C, A represents the sides of the triangle, and also it is given that angle ABC, okay, A is niche, this is C and this is A, and the coordinate of A is given to us as 5, 2. Okay, this is the information given to us. Now, based on this information, what we need to find is which of the following options are correct with respect to this triangle ABC. And you just read like these questions, you just read the options. Then only you will know what things you need to find. So it is given that slope of the line segment AB is half, slope of the line segment BC is minus half, Tan alpha is minus half, tan alpha is 3/4. So I have the straight lines of AB and BC. I just need to find the slope of the line segments and also the tan alpha. Tan alpha is nothing but, okay, tan alpha I need to find. The first and foremost thing is we need to find the slope of this straight line AB. So what will be the slope? I have the equation with me. 2y minus x. Okay. So 2y, I can write it as x minus 1 and y can be, which implies y is equal to half x minus 1/2. Now it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, where m is half, c is minus half.
Minus half.
Okay. Therefore, the slope of AB is half. And yeah, option A is given as slope of the line segment AB is half. So it is true. And the slope of the line BC is minus half is the second option. So the BC line equation is y is equals to 2x minus 1. So now the slope is 2 and the y-intercept is minus 1. So here we got slope is 2. But in option it is given that slope is minus half. So it is an incorrect option. Now we need to find tan alpha. Correct? So how can I find tan alpha? So tan alpha is basically the inclination. If you know the straight lines, you just draw the straight line. Slope of this is half and slope of this is 2. Okay. Slope of this straight line will be like this and slope of this straight line will be like this. So this slope is smaller than this slope. You get that, right? This slope is 2 and this slope is, okay, m2 I say. This is m1. M1 slope is half, M2 slope is 2. So this has bigger slope, that means this has bigger inclination. So this line is y minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. This line is 2y minus x plus 1 is equal to 0. So this is theta 1, you say this is theta 2, this is alpha we have. So tan alpha is nothing but tan theta 2 minus theta 1. So we have that formula m2 minus m1 by 1 plus m1 m2. So bigger slope is 2. So 2 minus half divided by 1 plus 2 times half. So this will give me 3/2 by 3/2 by 2. We will get 3/4.
So if M1 is greater than M2, then we use M1 minus M2.
We use M1 minus M2. Okay. So
I
this
have
is how, yeah.
on this angle alpha, I couldn't visualize how is it inclined to the x-axis.
How it is?
Inclined to the x-axis. These angles are with respect to x-axis, right?
Yeah. See. You know how to draw this straight line. It is straight line is given to 2y minus x plus 1.
Right.
The slope you know, right? The slope you know. 1 point you know. So roughly draw it. No? 5 comma 2 will be somewhere like here, and the slope is somewhat half. When it is half, or you find the x-intercepts and y-intercepts. So
okay.
0, and you roughly you will get like this. So as it is half, it will be very nearer to x-axis. So this is very small. This will be alpha 1. Let's say theta 1. And there is another line which has slope 2. So it will be something somewhere. It will be like this. It will go like this. This will be theta 2. This is how you have to interpret. You draw the lines roughly on xy plane, then you can get it.
So it is mentioned in the question that it is acute angle. That means it is below the 90 degrees, sir.
Below the 90. Or else if you see the graph itself, we have given you somewhat hint. Somewhat actually we drew the actual line in the graph. Okay. And the next question is, which of the following options represents the equation of a line AC? So I don't want to do complete solution, but I just want inputs. How will we do?
Sir, can we do this question by using a perpendicular? We draw a perpendicular from C. After that, we find the point of.
No. See, we know alpha, right? We know tan alpha. From there, you know this tan alpha.
Yeah.
So this tan alpha is nothing but this is alpha. So this is nothing but this slope minus this slope.
Okay.
This is nothing but m3. Sorry. So if I say this is theta 3 and this is theta 2, theta 3 minus theta 2 is the alpha. So we know tan alpha. We don't know tan theta 3, but we know tan theta 2 by 1 plus tan theta 3 tan theta 2. Okay, we don't know tan theta 3, but we know tan theta 2 tan alpha. From this we can find tan theta 3, which will be the slope of this particular line. So once you get the slope of this particular line, you have slope and also you have this point. Using point slope form, you can find the equation of the straight line AC. Just try by yourselves, you get the equation of the straight line.
Thank
you. Okay. Now let's move on. Now let's move on to SSC. Okay. And these are some small things. You just have to find. You just have to have the formulas with you. So distance of a line from a given point and distance between two parallel lines. So the distance d of a straight line from a point x1 comma y1 is given like this. You just have to substitute that particular point in the given equation and put it in the numerator. Take the modulus and divide it by square root a square plus b square. Okay, that will be the distance of a line from a given point. And when we say distance, that is actually referring to perpendicular distance. Okay, so don't ask us again that we never mentioned perpendicular. When we say distance, it is actually we are talking about perpendicular distance. And the same thing goes with distance between two parallel lines. So distance between two parallel lines can be found by subtracting the C1 with C2 or C2 with C1. You take the modulus and divide it by square root a square plus b square. So these are the two formulas. You might use it in bigger questions, but you just have to remember this formula. Okay. Now we come to SSC. So sum squared error. So SSC itself says sum squared error. You find the error, you square it, and you sum it. So that is what we do. So SSC is the sum of the squares of.
Yes, sir. Recently, I have got lost my connection. Can you please previous one topic again repeat?
Can you please open YouTube and just go back? See, I have only half an hour and I am still in week 2.
Okay, sir. No problem. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, sum squared error is basically used to find the error, actual model with the predicted model, the error between the actual model and the predicted model. So the actual model means actual data sets we have, and the predicted model can be like line fit, quadratic fit, or the polynomial fit. Okay, we say this particular points are actually fitting this line or this quadratic or this polynomial. Anything we can give, but actual data set we will give. Along with that, we will give this best fit line. What you have to do is you just have to compute the sum squared error. Okay, how we will compute is, we know in this example, you see, okay, I have taken page here. So in this question, you see, we have given you this data. So this data is actually called as actual data. So these are X and Y's. These are actual data we have. And this is the line fit we have. So this is the predicted fit, predicted data. What we do is we find the error between these two data and we square it and we add all of them. We sum all of them. So for each point, we calculate the error, we square it, and we will add all the points. That is what we do. So here you see, we have given you the point, the line. We know the slope and the y-intercept with us. What we have to do is, actually when x is equals to 1, we get y as 5. But predicted, what is predicted when x is equals to 1? Predicted is 4. Y predicted. Y predicted is when I substitute x is equals to 1, it will be 4. So actually it is 5. Predicted it is 4. So error will be predicted minus actual, actual minus predict, whatever. So 5 minus 4. So what I will do is 5 minus 4 is the error, and I will square this error and I will keep it aside. And I will take the second point. When x is equals to 2, actually y is 6. But when I substitute x is equals to 2 in the predicted model, 2 times 2 4, 4 plus 2 6. Here also it is 6. So actual and predict is same. So that means there is no error. So also it is, you can show it like this: 6 minus 6 whole square plus, you move to the next point. When actual it is 4, when x is 4, actually it is 9. When I substitute x is equals to 4 here, 4 times 8, 8 plus 2, 10. Actually it should be 9, but predicted it is 10, 10 minus 9 whole square. And finally, when x is 9, it is 20, predicted is 20 minus 18 whole square. So this is SSC. So even the below computations are the same. So 5 minus 4, 6 minus 6, 9 minus 10, 18 minus 20. So we get 1 square plus 0 square plus minus 1 square plus minus 2 square, which will sum up to 6. So SSC will be 6.
Sir, just one thing,
this is
why
line
we are putting the x value in that equation and subtracting it from 18, sir, or the y value?
See, why we are putting is x are actually inputs which we can control.
Okay,
Y is actually the outputs which we cannot control. So
okay, sir.
when there are machines, when I substitute x in real, I am performing an experiment and I just substituted x 1 in place of x and I got 5 as my output.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, so that means this table is the actual thing, and this y, the equation, is the predicted thing.
Predicted
so,
thing.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, understood, sir. Okay.
So we are computing just the error between our prediction and the actual.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
So that is what SSC. So this is about line fit. If we say a quadratic fit, when we see quadratic, if I say a quadratic is being fitted like this, the same thing, whatever we are doing here, the same thing we will do. Actual data will be there, and along with actual data, the equation will be something like y is equals to x square plus c or something, x square plus 2 or something. So what you have to do is you just
so
have to
just for SSC, will the equation will be given, or we have to sometimes frame this equation also?
No,
Or
predicted equation we will give you, actual data we will give you.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, but in some questions there are multiple equations. We have to choose one, then obtain the value, right?
That is different. As of now, you just have to compute the least best fit.
I think it's in practice assignment. There are multiple equations. You have to find the best equation, then put the value, right, sir?
So can we
So,
take
sir, in case if it is multiple equations are given, now SSC you have got 6. Let's say in another one you are getting 4. In another
Then
one
the
you are
smallest
getting
data should be
8.
taken, right?
Smallest will be taken.
Okay.
Smallest will
Right.
be taken.
In which
Sure.
equation which gives the smallest SSC, we have to take that one.
So can
Thank
we
you, sir.
take the mock question which was based on SSC? They had asked us to find the uh, K.
Value of C.
See, that is actually polynomial fit, right? When we come to polynomials, I will discuss it in the
Yes,
last.
sir.
That is
Okay,
actually
sir.
polynomial fit. As of
Okay,
now,
sir.
this is straight line fit. So that ends chapter 2. Now let's come to chapter 3. Chapter 3. See, chapter 2 is about straight lines. So which is of the form ax plus b or mx plus c kind. Now chapter 3 is quadratic functions, which we will have 3 constants and degree will be increased. Quadratic functions will be of the form ax square plus bx plus c. So this is a general equation of a quadratic function, general representation of a quadratic function. And the curve will be like this. So curves will be like either upward parabola or the downward parabola. Okay. So this is just an example. So parabolas will be like this. Okay. And it will always be a parabola. So any quadratic function I give you, if I ask you to draw the graph of this quadratic function, it will either be upward parabola or downward parabola. That's it. It will not take any other shapes. Okay. And some important observations are axis of symmetry. When I have given you one quadratic equation, there will be a axis of symmetry, there will be vertex of a parabola. Okay. So axis of symmetry means every parabola will have an axis of symmetry. That is, if the graph paper containing the graph of parabola is folded along the axis of symmetry, the portion of the parabola on either sides will be exactly match each other. So you just take, this is small and experiment kind of thing. You just draw a parabola and you just fold along the x-axis. You just fold the paper along the x-axis. You see both sides, you will have the same shape touching each other. Okay. So that particular line, we call it as an axis of symmetry. Here also, you see in this example, so if you fold along this line, if you fold along this line, okay, I get it. Okay. This thing and this thing are symmetric to each other. So it's like mirror images to each other. Okay, if you think this as a mirror, so this is mirror to this. Like this. Even here also there will be an axis of symmetry, even here there will be an axis of symmetry. And this particular axis of symmetry passes through vertex of a parabola. Vertex of a parabola is the peak point. For upward parabola, the belowmost point is the vertex point. For downward parabola, the topmost point will be the vertex of a parabola. Okay. And now you can see the axis of symmetry, the equation of axis of symmetry is given as x is equals to minus b by 2a, ax square plus bx plus c. For the quadratic function, x is equals to minus b by 2a is the axis of symmetry. Now you know that axis of symmetry is this, and axis of symmetry passes through vertex of a parabola. Therefore, I can say x coordinate of the vertex of a parabola is minus b by 2a. So if I have any parabola like this, and I know that this is x is equals to minus b by 2a, the coordinate of this, x coordinate of this particular point will be minus b by 2a. Just substitute minus b by 2a in the equation, in the given quadratic equation, we get f of minus b by 2a, which is the y coordinate of the vertex, which is the y coordinate. If you substitute, what will you get? Minus b by 2a whole square into a plus b times minus b by 2a plus c. Correct? So this will be the, if you simplify this, you will get something like c minus, what is the final form? C minus b square by 4a. Am I correct? If you simplify this, you will get something like this.
Yes, sir.
c minus b square by 4d. Okay, so this is about vertex of a parabola and axis of a symmetry. And yeah, we just discussed types of parabola. How do we differentiate this upward, downward? Depending upon the coefficient of x square, we decide. So if the coefficient of x square is positive, then the graph will be an upward parabola. If the coefficient of an x square is negative, the graph will be downward parabola. And yeah, now one most important topic is like slope of a quadratic function. So for the quadratic function of the form f of x is equals to ax square plus bx plus c, the slope of f at any given point x comma f of x is given to be 2ax plus b. So in straight line at every point slope will be same, but in quadratic functions at each point the slope varies, the slope changes depending upon the x coordinate of that point. So at any given point x comma f of x, the slope is given to be 2ax plus b. Okay, yeah. So there are, next is quadratic equations. Do we have any mock questions related to this slope, quadratic function, slope, and anything? One example I just wanted to discuss.
No, sir, it's clear. It is clear. Move
Clear,
forward.
right? Okay. So these are some important topics and terminologies you should remember.
Yes, move forward.
Okay. Now, when I replace f of x with 0, so we have quadratic function f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. So when I replace f of x with 0, the result will be a quadratic equation. So ax square plus bx plus c to be set to 0 or to a value will convert to a quadratic equation. And we say standard form is ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0 is the standard form. So this is the quadratic equation and we say this is the standard form. And the solutions of this quadratic, so now this is a quadratic equation and we can solve this quadratic equation by many methods. There are 3 methods, I guess, right? Method solve by factoring, and there is another thing, solve by completing square, and you just have to use the formula. So use the use any of these forms, we can actually find the roots of this equation, and these are called the roots of the equation, and the solutions of this quadratic equation are called the roots of the quadratic equation. So we have a quadratic equation, right? So for that quadratic equation, those are called the roots. And yeah, so that is about this quadratic equation. And there are 3 methods which we can actually solve these quadratic equations by factoring. And we say, see, this particular solve by factoring is like you have to factor the middle term. First and foremost thing is these are the steps to solve this quadratic equation using this factoring method. What we do is we write the equation in standard form and then we factor the polynomial. We factor the polynomial using by dividing this 2x into, by splitting this 2x into 2 terms, and we factor the polynomial and use this zero product property. Is nothing, you know, this zero product property, I guess everyone. When we have two factors,
6x minus 4x.
What is 6x?
So plus 2x, can we split it into plus 6x minus 4x?
Yeah, plus 6. See, this zero product property is nothing but if you have two factors, if the product of those two factors is 0, either one should be 0. One of
Yes,
it, at least one of it should be 0 is nothing but the zero product property. So that use that property and set both the factors equals to 0 and find the roots. Okay. So these are some examples. We have a quadratic equation given like this, x square plus 2x is equals to 24. So first and foremost thing is, step 1 is you should make it in the standard form. X square plus 2x minus 24 is equals to 0. Now we have to factor the middle term. So how we factor is, you just product the outer coefficients, like coefficient of x square with constant coefficient, constant, we get minus 24 as the product. How you have to split? So now you have to split this 2 plus 2 such that when you product these two terms, you need to get minus 24. Like this. You have to split this 2x like plus 6x minus 4x. Now you see, if you product 6 with minus 4, you will get minus 24. That is how you should factor it. So once you do this, you just take x common from the first two terms, 4 common from the next two terms. You are going to get x times x plus 6 minus 4 times x plus 6. And ultimately we are going to get two factors. You take x minus 6 common from these two, and we will get x minus 4 times x plus 6. And use this zero product property, which is nothing but either x minus 4 is 0 or x plus 6 is 0. So that means x minus 4 is 0 or x plus 6 is 0. X is equals to 4 or x is equals to minus 6. So these are the solutions of this quadratic equation. Okay. Similarly, below one, we have 4x square plus 9x is equals to 9. Make it into the standard form. Now you see, product of constant and x square coefficient is minus 36. So now you have to split 9 into two terms, two numbers, such that the product is minus 36. Like this, plus 2, plus 12 and minus 3. The same thing, take 4x common from the first two, minus 3 common from the next two. 4x minus 3 times x plus 3, use the zero product property, and we will get x is equals to 3 by 4 or x is equals to minus 3. Okay, this is how we find the solutions of a quadratic equation using factoring method. Same example.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, I had a problem. I had a quadratic equation which is x square minus 7x minus 7.
Minus 7x minus 7.
So, sir, it has two real roots, as b square minus 4 is greater than 0. But how to factorize it? I couldn't do the middle factor of this.
No, this cannot be factorized. You just have to use this formula, quadratic formula.
So this was given in the graded assignment. Graded assignment 4 question 1.
Okay, just you have to use this quadratic formula.
Sir, that was given as x minus 10 whole cube minus 1. So we can write as a cube minus b cube in that form, and then or x square minus
okay, I don't have that question right now. So let's complete this and we will come to it. See, whatever I am discussing, these are pretty much important to your quiz one. Okay, and next thing is solve by completing the squares, and this is I think this is not that very important. See, the same examples I took, you can use this particular solve by completing the squares can be used.
Sir, without using completing the square method, we can use other methods and also find the roots.
Yeah. Without using this completing. Just a second. No?
Hello, sir. You are not hello.
हाँ यार सर को पढ़ाने को ये रिवीजन सेशन है अभी तक अभी ब्रेक में है
Roshan sir, please can you mute?
जितने डाउट्स ना पूछ यार कम से कम पूरा रिवाइज कर लेने।
Roshan, can you mute please? Your
Yeah,
mic
sure,
has so
sure.
much
Just
disturbance. I don't know why.
I was not getting what you were telling actually. The sound was not coming, so that's why
Okay,
just
okay,
I
no problem.
asked.
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
My system got hanged and it got lost everything. Okay. Host, can you make me co-host, please? Host? Just a second.
To 90% off only at
So your screen is not visible. Yes.
I need to get the co-host access. No?
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we have three methods, right? So I will share my screen. Meanwhile, I just say whichever method you use, you will ultimately get the same roots. Okay. And I prefer either factorize or use the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula works for every quadratic equation. Okay, factorizing.
Sir, are you sharing the screen?
No, I'm not sharing
No.
the screen
Okay.
again. I will share the screen. Meanwhile, I'm just orally
Sure,
explaining
sure.
which thing.
No problem. Sure.
Okay.
So quadratic formula means the Shidra equation, right?
Quadratic formula means?
Like b square minus 4ac, that one.
Yeah, minus b plus or minus root b
Okay,
square
okay.
minus 4ac by 2a. So that is the quadratic formula which works for every quadratic equation. You don't need to bother whether that doesn't work or not. After that, if you didn't remember quadratic formula, just try factorizing the given quadratic equation. Okay, and give the least preference to completing the squares. So every time the completing squares doesn't work.
Sir, please share the screen. We can't see your screen, sir.
Just a second, let me get the co-host access. I just messaged them. They will give me the co-host access. I'm not able to.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Sir,
During the polynomial finding the roots, sir, in a polynomial, suppose using the quadratic formula, if we get any complex root, should we reject it, sir? Or
yeah, you should reject it.
okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir, one is symmetric as well as anti-symmetric at the same time.
What are you asking? One?
So one is anti-symmetric and symmetric at the same time.
What is one? One-to-one function.
One is where A belongs to a set where A cross A. Basically, where A is equal to 1 to 3.
One is a single element.
Yes, sir. One is a single element of cross product of A cross A.
It's both symmetric and anti-symmetric. Correct.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So, okay, I just wanted to skip this. And yeah, solve by quadratic formula is, we have a quadratic formula, direct formula solution, but in order to find the solutions, it is minus b plus or minus root b square minus 4ac by 2a. Okay. So use this formula, you will get two different roots. And the above formula is called quadratic formula, and b square minus 4ac. So whatever the inside the square root is there, that is called the discriminant. So depending upon the discriminant, we can find how many real roots are there for the quadratic function. So if this particular b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, then we say there are two real roots. If b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then there is only one real root. And if b square minus 4ac is less than 0, then we say there are no real roots. For the quadratic function f of x is equal to a. For this function, if your b square minus 4ac is greater than 0, we have two real roots. B square minus 4ac is equal to 0, one real root. B square minus 4ac less than 0, we have no real roots. Okay. Yeah, the same formula, the same equation. Here I just use this formula, quadratic formula. We got the same root, 4 and 4 minus 6. And the same 4x square plus 9x minus 9. Use the quadratic formula, we get 3 by 4 or minus 3. I suggest you use quadratic formula for any quadratic equation. Okay. Yeah.
Hello, sir. In this section, this PDF will be shared.
Yeah. This PDF will be shared too.
In which section, sir?
Maybe you will get an announcement, supplementary content or resource from instructor. Either
So
of
by
this.
when are we gonna get, sir?
After this session.
Okay, sir.
Sir, in polynomial function, I have only one doubt. Like it is very difficult sometimes to factorize the term. Like it is 4 or 5 degree. So in examination tomorrow, will the standard
Check the factors of last term. Always check the factors of the single term. Last one. Most of time the root will be from any one of them.
Shuklaji, please go on mute. We are not able
Sir,
to
please
hear what.
complete first. After that, take doubt. So please
Yeah.
come.
See, whatever the question you ask, that particular question in particular quiz one, we won't be giving more than 4 or 5 non-factored polynomial. If we are going for more than 5 degree, we will actually give you the factored polynomial. Okay. The main important thing in week 4 is when a polynomial is given to you. Okay. When a polynomial is given to you, whether it is factored, usually it is factored, will you be able to draw the polynomial or not? If you are able to draw the polynomial, then every question in quiz 1 will be easier for you with respect to week 4. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If a polynomial, even in mock questions, even in mock paper also, you see there are
Sir, there is echo of your voice. Sir.
Someone, not from my side, maybe someone. Is it still there?
No, your voice is clear, sir.
We can hear you clearly.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, everything fine. It is clear.
Yeah. So whatever I am saying is, in week 4, what you have to mainly focus on is when a polynomial is given to you, whether it is 8 degree or 9 degree, factored polynomial is given to you. Are you able to draw the rough graph of that polynomial or not? If you are able to do that, then I say that many questions will be easier for you in quiz 1. Okay, let's see. So right now we have seen quadratic function which has degree 2. So if the degree is more than 2, then those are called as polynomials. Even the quadratic function is also a polynomial, but we say that as quadratic function. But more than 2, we call it as a polynomial. So a polynomial is of the form an. So an is the coefficient of x power n. An minus 1 is the coefficient of x power n minus 1, like this, where an not equals to 0 and n belongs to natural numbers excluding 0. Okay. So this is a polynomial. And yeah, one thing is like whenever a polynomial is given, the domain of this polynomial will be all set of all real numbers. Okay. And the range depends on the function. So if it is quadratic functions, range will be some vertex point to infinite. If it is 3-degree polynomial, it will be whole R. If it is 4-degree polynomial, again some restricted range will be there, like this. So depending upon the function, the range will be differs, but the domain of any polynomial function is set of all real numbers. Domain will be constant for any polynomial, whether it is 2-degree, 3-degree, 4-degree, or 5-degree. Okay, yeah. So this classification not required. So don't go through this classification.
Sir, I have
And
doubt
also
with
this
polynomial
numeric-
in mock test.
Yeah, I will take it.
Okay, thank you.
So this is just the basic things which we have given to you. If you still have doubts, just go read this. That is not necessary for our
No
quiz
doubt, no doubt.
revision.
Clear, sir. Clear.
No, not clear. Not required for quiz 1. So I'm moving forward. Yeah, addition of two polynomials.
These things are clear. So addition, subtraction, these things
I think
are.
these things are pretty clear. Again, we gave it in detail. You just go with the PDF.
Okay.
Sir, go on graphing. Sir, go on graphing.
Yeah, I will go to graphing. So
This
subtraction.
graphing, stretch factor, this kind of things.
Yeah. So multiplication is also similar kind of thing. You just go through it. But
Sir,
one
should
thing,
we remember the form, sir? That is summation a power, like in
for
addition.
multiplication. Huh?
Yes, sir. For multiplication.
For multiplication, see, for multiplication, you just have to product. You just take this x square. You just have to product this x square with every other term. That's it.
Yes, sir.
No
So
need
no
to
need to
remember
that.
all the formula. The formula says that thing only, but
Yes,
it
sir.
looks complex, but it actually says the same thing. Okay, later you take this term, you multiply it with every other term. This term, multiply it with every other term. So that is about multiplication. And yeah, division is one important thing. How you should know how to divide one polynomial with another polynomial. So I hope even this division is also clear to you.
Yes, sir.
How
It
to
is
divide.
clear.
Yes, sir. It is clear.
If you are missing any term, you just make it 0. You just have to keep gap at there. You know that, right?
Is there a chance? Can you explain how the division works, sir? I am not sure if that is
Okay.
possible.
If you are not sure, just go with this PDF. Okay, we will share this PDF to you.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's
Go on
just-
graphing portions.
Yeah, graphing. I will just go to graphing. See, we have given you how this division algorithm works step by step. Okay, and go through that. And what else is there in this? Yeah. Now, how do you find when a graph is given to you? How do you find whether it is polynomial, straight line, or quadratic? Okay. So you see there are 4 graphs given to you. So can you tell me which one is a straight line?
B.
Sir, B.
Option B.
B will be the straight line. Which one is the polynomial?
Option A.
Option A, sir.
Option A, sir.
Yeah. Polynomials are always smooth curves. Okay. So the graphs are always smooth. Smooth means there will not be any sharp edge, sharp cuts like this. And there will not be any breakages like this.
Yes, sir.
And it will not be straight all the time. Okay. So polynomial graphs are always smooth, and it will, if it is taking turn, it will take smooth turn like this U-shaped turn, and it will always be curvy. It will not be straight. It will always be curved. Okay, these graphs are polynomial graphs.
Sir, option D is a function.
Option B is also a polynomial, no, sir. To the
No,
extent
sir.
that
It is a
visible in-
function. It is a function.
Option D. Option D is a function.
No, B. Option B is a polynomial, no, sir.
Option B is a straight line. See, that is what I say.
But the straight line is also a polynomial.
It's a monomial.
Don't
How can you say
debate.
that a straight line is a polynomial?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
straight line is a polynomial.
please. Now the debate starts. I don't want to take into the debate. Just follow me, okay? Whenever the degree is greater than 2, we say in this particular course we treat it as polynomial, okay? Even straight lines, quadratic equations are polynomials. As I said earlier also, these are polynomials. But we don't want to refer them as polynomials and confuse you. Okay? Straight line is a straight line, quadratic is quadratic, and above 2 degree we say polynomial.
Sir, option D is a function.
Option D is a function.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. So polynomials will be like that. And yeah, how do we find zeros of a polynomial? So this is zeros of a polynomial are nothing but roots of a polynomial function. Okay, for in order to find the roots of a polynomial function, what we have to do is you have to replace f of x with 0. Okay, then you see if it can be factorized or not by factorizing. Use trial and error method if you are unable to find factor. Just start with 0. Just look 0 is a root or not. Just substitute 0, you should get 0. If it doesn't work, -1, +1, -2, +2, and don't go beyond +2 because we will be giving within these 5 cases only. Mostly you will get within these 5 trials, you will get one root. Okay. By this you can factorize. Okay. So factorizing, yeah. One, if you got one factor, now it's a matter of you divide that polynomial with that factor and you will get the quotient. Using the division algorithm, you will get one more quotient. Now that quotient will become the bigger polynomial, and again you should have to factor them. And again you use trial and error method, or when it reduces to a quadratic equation, you know how to find the solutions of a quadratic equation. So from there, from bigger equation to, you simply have to take one factor at a time and make it a quadratic equation. Last factor as a quadratic equation, and you solve the quadratic equation. Yeah. Now let's come to graphing of polynomials.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one doubt in week 4 graded assignment, sir.
Firstly, complete revision. After that,
yeah, let me complete what I wanted to tell.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. Later I will take the doubts. Okay.
So can you repeat, sir? You were talking about 0, -1, 1, 2, sir.
That is trial and error. That is trial and error method. If you are unable to find the factors of a polynomial, like x cube minus x square plus x minus 1 is equals to 0. Okay. So factorizing, if you are unable to find the factorize, okay, plus 9x minus 1. So if it is like this, and if you are unable to find the factor, use the trial and error method. Just substitute 0 into this equation. If this equation is satisfied, then 0 is the root. If it is not satisfying, just substitute -1 plus 1 -2 plus 2. So like this, if you substitute 1 minus 1 plus 9 minus 9. So this will be 0 equals to 0. This equation is satisfied. So 1 is a root for this particular polynomial function. So if 1 is a root, then x minus 1 is a factor. So once you got x minus 1 is a factor, you divide x minus 1. You divide this whole polynomial with x minus 1 and you will get a quadratic equation. And you know from there that quadratic equation can be factorized. Right? So that is how you are. Okay. Now I will take few examples and let us draw. So those examples from mock itself I will take, because mock actually resembles your final and quiz. Okay. If you are comfortably able to solve mock, then you will definitely clear final exam. Okay, in mock, yeah, I will take the 10th question, final question, which everyone can open the mock paper. Consider two polynomial functions P of x is equals to 0.1 times x minus 1 times x minus 5 times x minus 10, and Q of x is equals to 0.4 times x minus 1 times x minus 10 times is defined in the interval 1 comma 10. This question, everyone try to open that question. Let me check, are there any other questions? Okay, that particular question itself I will take.
Sir, what is the question number, sir?
Last question. So we have two polynomials. P of x is equal to 0.1 times x minus 1 times x minus 5 times x minus 10. Okay. Now see, so this is the polynomial given to us, which is factorized. So if I wanted to draw the graph of this polynomial, from where should I start? So we have to start. Let me explain. So draw the xy plane and plot the roots of the given polynomial on the x-axis. So the roots are at 1.
So it's x minus 20, not 10.
Whatever. For me it is 10.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, how many roots are there for this polynomial? There are 3 roots, which are at 1, 5, and 10. Has everyone know how to find roots when a polynomial is given like this?
Yes, sir.
Polynomial?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Equal to 0.
Now just plot the now just plot those roots, and you take the leftmost. First we draw the end parts of the graph. End parts means left side of this one and the right side of this 10. Okay, we will try to draw the graph of that thing, and these are called end behaviors. So for that, what I will do is I will randomly pick one number which is 0, maybe 0, and I will just substitute in this polynomial. Okay, if I substitute in that
So
polynomial,
randomly in the sense before.
okay, I
this
don't
one
know.
and
Okay,
after.
I don't. Okay, I guess you will confuse. Okay, let me explain that thing also. Before this graphing, we have 4 types of graphs. Okay, 4 types of polynomial graphs. So one is coefficient is greater than 0, leading coefficient is greater than 0, and it is even degree polynomial. What is even degree polynomial? The highest degree is even number, like 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on. Okay, highest degree is this. First type. Second type is leading coefficient is less than 0, and it is even degree polynomial.
Behavior, please.
Huh?
Sir, can you repeat the end behavior, please?
This is the end behavior. I am explaining the end behavior. If a is greater than 0 with odd degree polynomial, and finally with a less than leading coefficient less than 0 with odd degree polynomial. So now you see these are the 4 types of graphs we have. 4 types of end graphs, and end behavior will be of 4 types. Now if it is even degree with leading coefficient greater than 0, so this is the leftmost root. Let's say this is the leftmost root and this is the rightmost root, alpha beta. The end behavior will be like this. Both will be upward. If it is even degree and the leading coefficient should be greater than 0. If these two conditions are satisfied, then the end behavior means left side of leftmost root and the right side of rightmost root. So these are the end behavior. End behavior will be of this form. If it is less than 0, it will be like this. So this is a less than 0 case.
Lower is for odd, sir, odd degree polynomial, sir.
No. This is a less than 0, leading coefficient less than 0, and even degree. If it is even degree polynomial, both the ends will be ends will be in the negative side.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Please be mute. Please mute. Next, when it comes to odd degree polynomial, end behaviors will be if the leading coefficient is greater than 0 and if it is odd degree polynomial, then the left side of leftmost root will be below and this will be above, like this. This is a greater than 0 case. A greater than 0 as well as odd degree. If it is odd degree, the end behavior will be like this. If it is even degree, the end behavior will, sorry.
Sorry,
If it is
odd
a
degree,
less than 0, yeah, if it is odd degree with a less than 0. Okay, these are the 4 types.
they are opposite sign the sides.
Hmm?
Sir, in odd degree, the both sides are in the opposite. One upper end and one
Yeah. So if a less than 0, this is how the graph will be for odd degree polynomial. End behavior will be. So
Sir, this is the if you remember the graph x square minus x square and x cube minus x cube, so we can easily plot that graph, right?
Right. You can actually plot the end behavior. Now you see here the leading coefficient is positive and it is an odd degree polynomial. Correct?
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
Here a greater than 0 and it is also odd degree polynomial. Therefore, the end behavior will be like this.
Sir, what is the value of a here?
A is 0.1. Leading coefficient is 0.1. Na? A is positive. So if A is positive, this is how the graph will be. Just now we have seen, and behavior will be. Now after, in between, how we draw is, if the multiplicity of that particular root is odd, then we cut the x-axis and go to the other side. If the multiplicity of that root is even, we bounce.
Sorry to interrupt. What do you mean by multiplicity, sir?
This here, power.
Okay, sir.
Okay. How many times that root is repeated? Root is being repeated. Okay. So here everything is 1. So every root has odd multiplicity. So everywhere the graph cuts x-axis like this. Okay. So this is how we draw the graph. Now if it is like this, fourth. Okay. If it is like this, what is the degree of this particular polynomial?
8.
8.
8,
Is it
sir.
even or odd?
Even.
So now we have even degree polynomial with coefficient, leading coefficient greater than 0.
Here, greater than 0.
Now how will be the end behavior be?
Both would be
Both
Both will be on the upwards.
Yes, sir.
Like this. First draw the end behavior. Now the multiplicity of 1 is 3, which is odd. So you have to cut, or there will be a slight difference. It will be like this, shape difference. It will actually cut and go to the other side, but there will be a shape difference. And it has to go to 5. But once it reaches to 5, you see the multiplicity of
Even.
4, so it will bounce.
Yeah. So it is even. So it should bounce back. So it will bounce back and it will go to 10 and it will touch us like this. So this is how you should draw the graphs of a polynomial. First, you draw the end behavior. First, you plot the roots in order, sequential order. You just see the degree and the leading coefficient, whether it is odd degree or even degree, and the leading coefficient sign. Then draw the end graph, end behavior graph. Then you just start from the one root. If the particular root is of even multiplicity, you bounce back. If it is of odd multiplicity, you cut the x-axis and go to the other side. And you again reach to the next root by taking a turn. So this is how you graph the polynomial.
Okay, sir. So can you please solve this question?
Yeah.
Yeah, one question, sir. So, yeah, actually, x plus 5 is one part of that multiplication. Why not is it bouncing upward? Because the 4 power is there.
See, actually the graph is in below, right? The graph is below. You reach 5 from below. So you shouldn't cut there. You shouldn't cut at 5 because the multiplicity is even there. So therefore you should bounce back.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question. Here x
Okay.
Sir, here degree of x minus 1 and x minus 10 both are equal. Means it is here odd. Both are having odd. What if x minus 1 is odd and x minus 10 is even? How can I then plot it?
X minus 1 is odd and x minus 10 is even.
Means here 1 and 10 are extreme roots, no? So, and we have to first plot the extreme roots. A is greater than 0. But it is one is even degree and another is odd degree. Then how to approach it?
This thing only, right? This case, right? You are talking about
yes.
This. One is
Yes.
odd and one is even. Now you see what is the degree of the polynomial now? 9.
Okay.
9, right? Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Now it became odd degree polynomial and the leading coefficient is greater than 0. So the end behavior will be like this. Correct? Okay, I will take the new graph.
Sir, I have a question. Like that, if given P0 equal to 4 and P5 equal to 7 and P8 equal to 10, like that. So there are infinitely many polynomials for such condition or only one polynomial.
Which question?
This was discussed before, I guess.
No, sir. In the mock session, mock test, it is
mock
correct.
session में y intercept नहीं given था. If y intercept is given, there is no infinite. If y intercept is not given, only x intercept is given, then it can be infinite. Sir has described earlier.
I will come to that later. Okay. Let us see this. So now the polynomial is of odd degree and the leading coefficient is greater than 0. If it is like that, the end behavior will be like this. Now you see the multiplicity of 1 is odd. So it should cut there. So it cuts there and goes to the other side. And I have to reach 5 again because that is the root. And I will take a turn and reach 5. And once I reach 5, the multiplicity of 5 is 4. So it is even. So therefore it will bounce back. And once I reach 10, if I reach 10, 10 is also in even degree multiplicity, I should bounce back. So this is how the graph will be. Okay, this is how you should draw. There are 3 steps, 3 main steps. First, plot the roots on the x-axis, then draw the end behavior depending upon the leading coefficient and the odd degree and even degree thing. And later you start from one point, and depending upon the multiplicity, you fix you go whether you should cut x-axis or you bounce back. So these are the main things.
Sir, I have doubt. So in the third step, I am unable to figure it out. How do we decide whether it bounces or cuts?
You see that is depending on the multiplicity. So if it is odd multiplicity, you cut. If it is even multiplicity, you bounce back.
Okay, so that's the standard that we have to follow.
Yeah, that's the standard.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir,
Sir, what is the role of
sometimes
coefficient?
instead of x minus 10, 10 minus x is a root is given. So what will be the root in that case?
Okay. So now the graph is like this, let us say. Now my p of x is 0.1, x minus 1 whole cube, x minus 2 whole power 4, and there is 10 minus x. Now what you have to do is, this is make it minus 0.1, x minus cube, x minus 2 whole power 4, x minus 10. So just make 10 minus x as minus of x minus 10. Okay, that minus I bought it outside. Now you see the leading coefficient is negative. Correct? A is less than
Yes,
0
sir.
here. A is less than 0 and it is even degree polynomial. Right? 3 plus 4 plus 1. Now it is even degree polynomial. A is less than 0. Now we know that n behaviors will be, both will be below. Correct? So even degree polynomial, leading coefficient less than 0. You see here, leading coefficient less than 0, even degree polynomial, both will be below x-axis. So from there, you see from 1 we start drawing the graph. From 1 multiplicity is 3, so I cut 2, I bounce back, 10 I cut. So this is how the graph will be.
So there will be 3 turning points, right?
There will be 3 turning points, correct.
Also, sir,
So bouncing is a turning point.
if there is a x square plus 1, so we won't consider that relation, sir, and we draw the other ones.
But it affects the degree, that's it. So if there is x square plus 1, degree is anyway even. Here also the degree is even,
Yes,
right?
sir.
It won't
So we
change
won't
much.
draw that thing and we ignore it and we do
Yeah,
the
we ignore it and the graph will be almost like this. Okay, we don't need the exact graphing. We need just number of turning points, where the graph turns, where the graph cuts, in which
Sir,
interval
will
it.
not the turning points affect, sir, if we won't consider x square plus 1? Like the turning points, will it affect, sir? If we
I
won't
don't think so. It won't affect that. Okay, anyway, you don't bother about that. It won't affect is my prediction. Let me see. Let me look at after this session. Okay. But as of now, you don't worry. With respect to quiz 1, you don't worry about.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
In this graph, x square plus 1 should also be considered on the left hand side of y-axis. Yes, sir?
See, what I meant is this will not affect much. This x square plus 1 will actually stretch or compress this graph. Okay, but on above all this, you don't need to worry about those.
Sir, sir, is the number of turning points one less than the number of roots, or the number of roots is equal to the number of turning points?
The number of roots are 1 greater than number of roots, is it?
Yes, sir.
For x cube, we have 2 turning points.
Yes, sir. So it's minus 1, the number of
minus.
root. Yeah, okay.
At most,
Yes.
we will have 2 turning points.
Okay, sir.
Sir, please can you solve that last math of the graded assignment? I am not able to do the last part. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. So yeah, most of the important topics I covered. Those who are done, you can leave.
Sir, if we have 10 minus x square, then can we take a negative sign outside as in this case?
10 minus x square is nothing but x minus 10 whole square. Minus doesn't impact. This is actually squaring, right?
Okay, sir.
Sir, will
Sir,
the
mock test question
answers...
number 10.
Yeah, mock test answers we will share. Yeah, I will conclude with question number 10 of mock test. So
can you repeat that 10 minus x squared? We don't have to take negative outside, right?
If it is square,
if it is square, yeah.
if it is odd power, then we have to take
then we have to
minus.
take minus.
Okay, thank you.
So this is equal to this. Okay, let us take that question number 10 in the mock. So there they have given two polynomials to us, where one is p of x is equals to, so whatever I written, yeah, p of x is equals to 0.1 times x minus 1 times x minus 5 times x minus 10, and some other polynomial q of x as 0.4 times x minus 1 into x minus 10. Now these are defined in the interval, open interval 1 to 10. A line L of x passes through x-intercept of p of x and the intersection point of p of x and q of x. Okay. So first and foremost thing is you need to draw these two polynomials. You should know how to draw these two polynomials. And also we are worried about only in the interval 1 to 10. It is enough to draw in the interval 1 to 10. So we have 1, 5, 10 as the roots. So q of x is a quadratic equation with roots 1 and 10, and the leading coefficient is positive. It will be an upward parabola. Right? If I have to draw something like this.
The p of x is of degree 3, right, sir? So
No, I have drawn the graph of q of x.
okay, sir.
So this is q of x. So it will be a quadratic equation with roots 1 and 10. And later p of x, just now we have drawn this graph. It is an odd degree polynomial with leading coefficient leading coefficient positive. So the graph will be like this, and every root has odd multiplicity. It will always cut it. Okay, so we need like this. It will be.
Sir, will not the end behavior of both the things like collinear
And behavior
of both the like?
No. See, don't worry about collinear same line. It will not go in the same line, but it both will be in the positive side. That's it. That is what we need.
Sir,
And yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, is there anything else, or I'll ask my question?
No.
Yes, sir.
In
Sir,
this question,
for my mock test one, my values were x minus like 0.1 in bracket x minus 1, x minus 15, and x minus 20.
Okay,
And for
fine.
qx, it was 0.4, x minus 1, and x minus 20. But
Hmm.
then the options were x-intercept of px is given in domain 5, and the x-coordinate is for 9. But the option doesn't match with the question.
Yes, sir. Same.
Yes, sir. Same for us also, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like that, sir.
That
Actually,
was very
question given
difficult
us
for
is
me
the
to
wrong
understand.
with the options.
Yeah.
Sir,
Wrong
options are
with the
same
wrong.
like what you have, but the question is completely different, like the numbers.
Yeah. Maybe there is a typo happened for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, the question is this.
Yes, sir. Just for me, the x minus 10 is x minus 20.
No. This is the question. This is the actual question. It should be, but maybe there is a typo. So now what we need is, what they said is, there is a line L of x passes through the x-intercept of p of x and the intersection point of q of x. So we are considering only in the interval, open interval 1 comma 10 open. So we don't consider 1 and 10 are the roots of this p of x. So only 5 is considered as the root. In this interval, only 5 we have as the root. So the zeros of p of x in this particular interval is 5. So there is a line L of x.
That means the domain of the px given the x-intercept px in the given domain is 5. This is true.
Yeah. On an whole R, there are 3 x-intercepts, 1, 5, 10. but we restricted the domain to open interval 1 comma 10. That means we are excluding 1 and 10 in our domain.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
in this interval, we will have only one x-intercept, which is 5.
So how we find these 1 and 10 points are restricted, sir?
Restrict open bracket.
How could I know this is from the equation? There is no not written there. We are taking that open interval 1 comma 10 or something.
Yeah, it is open interval 1 comma 10, right? We are defining.
Oh, defining interval 1 comma 20. Yes, 1 comma 20. Yeah. Sorry. My
1 comma 10 will be excluded. 1 and
okay,
10
sir.
will be excluded.
Okay, now I get it. I get the first point.
So now a straight line is passing through these two. Is what given. So we know this straight line passes through 5 comma 0. The x-intercept of p of x in a given domain is 5. Correct?
So there are few more options in that question, just like the x coordinate of the vertex qx. What does it mean by that?
1 second. Why can't I mute everyone?
So much
please mute
Mark, can you please mute everyone, sir?
You have to come and discuss even your failures. Then only the people can suggest that this is what has to be changed. And if you record any spectrum today,
I'm not able to mute.
please go on mute. That way you people are not even analyzing what is happening. Only when it comes in 6 months, when it comes, then you feel your problem.
I'm not able to mute. Why I'm not able to mute? Okay, he just muted. Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about the option, the x coordinate of the vertex of qx. I didn't get that thing. Will you please explain to one?
See, q of x is an quadratic equation.
Yes.
So quadratic equation, vertex point lies on axis of symmetry.
Yes.
What is the equation of axis of symmetry?
Minus b by 2a.
Minus b by 2a.
2a. You just
Yes.
expand this function into general form. 0.4 into x square minus x minus 10 minus 11 minus 4.4 into x plus 10 plus 4. So this is how the general form will be. So a is 0.4, b is minus 4.4. You can substitute that minus of minus 4.4 divided by 2 times of 0.4. Correct?
Yes,
so
sir.
0.4, this is 11. Minus and minus will get cancelled. It will be 11 by 2, which is 5.5. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So that will be, so axis of symmetry is 5.5, axis equals 5.5. In the above slides we just discussed, the x coordinate of vertex point will be minus b by 2a. X coordinate of vertex will be minus b by 2a and y coordinate will be c minus
b square by 4a.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we asked you to find x coordinate of the vertex point, which is minus b by 2a. We just computed minus b by 2a, which is 5.
Okay.
So that is the x coordinate.
I'm just saying the x coordinate of the the x coordinate of the vertex of qx. Is this true or false?
That is true, right? That is true.
The vertex is on x line. This is trying to say.
Vertex?
Vertex is
values
I'm just not able to answer the meaning of the sentence.
Okay.
What
this
actually
option is
these things
incomplete,
mean.
sir. I think this option is incomplete, sir.
Why is it incomplete?
Yes, sir. For
It's just written the x coordinate of vertex of q of x. That's it. There is nothing else written in addition to that.
Is 5.5 is not written?
Sir,
No, sir, there is
Nothing is
nothing
written,
given.
Sir, question there is lot of errors.
Not written, sir.
Just the option is the x coordinate of the vertex of qx. That's what I'm saying. I'm not able to get it. What the option means. And
Yes,
this
yes,
is
yes.
given, this is the right accepted answer.
Okay,
But I
will,
didn't get it.
I will show you the exact question.
Question 10 has a lot of errors, sir.
Yeah, question 10 has a lot of errors. Can you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
This
sir.
should be the actual question.
Yes, sir. In our question, it's not like this, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
not
a
like
complete
this.
different question for us. It's a
Okay.
completely
Or
different.
maybe there are many errors, I guess.
This type of will not happen.
Yeah, it will not happen. And you don't get.
That's why I'm not able to get it.
Okay.
So how to solve the slope of the line then?
Slope of line x. Yeah. We will try to find it. See, just now we know.
Sir, can you please solve that fourth point also? So
Fourth point also.
yes, sir, please.
Yes.
Fourth point is the x coordinate of intersection point of p of x and q of x. Yeah, even that we will do now. See. So we have p of x and q of x. Intersection points can be found out by equating p of x to q of x. Okay. So you just have to equate this particular polynomial to this, and we will get the intersection points. Point 1, x minus 1, x minus 5. Is this color visible? X minus 10 is equals to 0.4 times x minus 1, x minus 10. So this will get cancelled. So we have x minus 5 is equals to 0.4 by 0.1. X is equals to 5 plus 4, which is 9. Okay.
In my equation, the numbers are different, like x minus 15. So I got it x equal to 1.5, x equal to 15. So that's why I'm asking.
Our questions were different, and that's the reason it was varying.
Yeah, that's the reason.
That's why
that is an error. That is an error.
Okay, the process is right. Okay,
the process is right. You just have to
because that is a mistake. That's what I'm saying. I'm not able to get it. Why it is wrong?
No.
Okay.
Now we got one point, intersection point, x coordinate of intersection point. By substituting this x in any of the polynomial or quadratic, we get the y coordinate of the intersection point. Correct? Q of 9 or P of 9 gives you y coordinate of the intersection point. Now we know that this particular straight line passes through 5, 0, and also we know that this passes through 9, if I substitute 9, what will be the value? 9, 8 minus 1, 8 times minus 3.2. Minus 3.2. Correct? Can anyone do?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Minus 3.2.
Minus
3. Can you please tell once more that 9 minus 3.2 from where you get?
We got 9, right? We just got 9.
Yes, we got 9.
By
And we put the equation in 9 and we will get y.
We will get y. Now we have 2 points on the straight line. If we have 2 points, we know how to find the slope of that line.
Yes, equation.
Yeah, equation you can find slope also directly.
Yes.
Right? If you find so, you will get minus 0.8, I guess.
Sir, which equation you have substituted this 9, sir?
Wherever both the equation satisfies this point, that is why it is the intersection point. Even if you substitute in P of x or Q of x, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Question term is wrong, so everything is gets so complicated.
Yes, even the slope is wrong.
Question 10 maybe there are many errors. Not maybe, there are many errors. Okay. So this is how you solve that question.
Sir.
Yes, now I get it.
सर इंटरसेक्शन पॉइंट निकालने के लिए हमको दो इक्वेशन इक्वेटी करना पड़ता है.
इक्वेटी करना पड़ेगा. इक्वेट कर दिया तो we will get the intersection point.
Can you please solve that question number 8?
Yes, sir. Question number 8.
Okay.
Or if you can just tell us how to solve it, and then we can solve on our own.
Even 14, sir, can you tell the method how to do it?
Question number 8 and 9. 8 I did, but 9 thing I'm not able to do. This is a sequential question.
Can you read the question, please?
Yeah,
so that river crossing problem.
Ridge one wants to cross the river, represent RS.
Okay. With this, we will end this session, and I will
Sir,
just
I
share
have
the
some
text.
query on the graded assignment also.
Yes, sir.
Which one? Which one? Question.
The
Question
graded
mark.
graded assignment question number 9. There is like
Please be on mute. Roshan.
Roshan, please mute yourself.
Graded assignment 7, question number 7.
Roshan, can you?
It's simple, Kajori.
Sir,
You just have to find x coordinates.
like it should be 54, right? Because all the equation having 18 is the
So
constant
first
term.
you complete with mobs. So
Sir, first you complete with that mock one thing, then
Okay. What we have to do is, it is given. We have given the actual data with you. -10, it is -150. -5, at -5, it is -30. That is the actual data given to you. And also we fit. Rizwan wants to cross the river, represented by r of x is equals to 0.05. So this is the predicting data we have given to you. That is how you should interpret this. So this is r of x is equals to 0.05 into x minus 1 into x minus 5 into x minus 10 plus k. So this is the predicted model given to you, and the actual data is also given to you, where x is -10, -5, 1, 10, 15. And down values are -150, -30, 15, 15, 50.
Sir, in this question, we have to only do put the value of x and equate it to the value of y, so we will get the value of y.
We will get the value of k. Correct.
So how
We
to
are
get the
smart.
y value?
Y value is already given in the table.
No. For this next question, k value I can compute.
You can compute k value. How?
Yes, sir. So for example, instead of x, I'll write it as 1. Then I'll get it as 0 plus k is equals to 15. So k is equals to 50.
So we have to calculate the SSE, right?
Yeah, calculate this.
yes,
Yeah,
gas
actually
to the
we
k
are.
equal to 15, but the next part I'm not able to solve.
See, the main thing is we just gave this question just to check whether everyone are solving it by SSE or using some shortcuts to solve. See, if you are smart enough to guess, it's actually every point passes through r of x.
Sir, mock test solution when we will available?
After maybe before 4 p.m.
Okay.
Okay. So you just see, you just substitute. We have to find the value of k first, right? It is given. The data
Yes,
is
sir.
given.
For which SSE is minimum, right?
Yeah, SSE is minimum. We have to minimize our SSE basically. First and foremost, that is the idea of this question. Main idea of this question. You can use however shortcuts you can use, but the main idea is we should minimize the SSE. How will I minimize the SSE? By considering error and square the error and add all those 5. So if I see the error here, if I substitute -10 here, so I will get 0. So let us look at the point -10. So actual y is -150. Predicted y or r of x, this is predicted y, which is r of -10, which is 0.05 times -10 minus 1 -10 minus 5 -10 minus 10 plus k. So if you simplify this will be -11 -15 -20
164.
How much?
Minus 165 plus k.
Minus 165 plus k. So this is predicted and this is actual. Error will be minus 150 minus of minus 165.
It will be
Plus
15.
K. Yeah. So 15 minus k is the error. So I have to square this error. Correct? Now this is error. Now squared error will be 15 minus k whole square. So for point x is equals to minus 10, we have squared error to be 15 minus k. Similarly, for x is equals to minus 5. So actual will be minus 30 given. Predicted will be r of minus 5, which will be minus 45 plus k, I guess. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Even now the error will be 15 minus k. Squared error will be 15 minus k whole square. Similarly, if you find for 1, 10 and 15,
all are same,
All
sir.
are same, sir.
all
are
you will get
15 minus k.
So SSC will be 5 times of 15 minus k whole square.
Yes, sir.
So this particular 5 times of 15 minus k whole square should be minimum. When will this be minimum? For what value of k?
15, sir.
Yeah. For what value of k? This 5 times 15 minus k whole square is minimum.
15, sir.
Minus b by 2a.
You can use minus b by 2a, or
Yes,
you can
sir.
directly from the equation you can say this is a square term. Unless
Yes,
this is
sir.
0, every other term it is positive. So the least we can get is 0. So 0 can be obtained when k is 15.
Yes, sir.
Now we got k as 15. Correct? Now we have to find the value of a. Find the x coordinate of the point a. So if you see in the question it is given a straight line where one point of the straight line is 0 comma 20 something and another is 0 comma 10. Correct?
Yes.
And that is going like this, and you see this is the a point and the x coordinate of a point is 0.
Yes. Yes.
Can you get that? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We need to find y. Now we got the value of k, right? Now r of x will be something like 0.05 into x minus 1 into x minus 5 into x minus 10 plus 15.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now get it.
We will
Now,
make it 0,
yeah.
sir. X will be 0 and then there will be y coordinate.
R of 0.
Minus 1, minus 5.
Sir, the last part I didn't understand. After k is equal to 15.
After 15, you just
5 into SSC. 5 into minus k.
See, for all the 5 points, you will get the squared error as 15 minus k whole square. You just add all those. 15 minus k whole square plus 15 minus k whole square plus.
So there was a question of SSC in which there was equation with c square. It was c square minus 34 and some 59. So what we should do? I was not able to understand from the solution also.
Which question is that?
Sir, it was.
I will come to that. Just give me 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. After k is equal to 15, you substituted in r of x.
R of x. We have to get the y coordinate of point A. We know that x coordinate of point A is 0.
Yes,
right?
sir.
It is on y axis. If you see the diagram, it is on the y axis. Now you just have to substitute x is equals to 0 in r of x to get the y coordinate. And how much we will get? We will get 12.5, correct?
Yes, sir.
12.5. Now tell me which grade it is. Yeah. I am
Sir,
done.
sir, question are helpful.
Sir.
See, these are the important questions, important topics you should focus on. Okay, if you are preparing for quiz one, whatever I discussed, those are the
Roshan,
important.
please go on mute, Roshan.
Sir.
Unable to recognize sir voice.
Yeah, hello, sir. Actually, last question, can you tell? Related question number 1, 24.
I seriously cannot understand, Roshan. Lot of background noise and I can't hear you properly.
सर
हाँ
सर मतलब मुझे ये पूछना है सर, जो आपने अभी इसमें एसएससी का फॉर्मूला बताया कि एक्चुअल माइनस प्रोजेक्टेड वन, सर यही फॉर्मूला मतलब स्ट्रेट लाइन में भी लगता है, पॉलिनोमियल्स में भी, क्वाड्रेटिक में भी?
हाँ सब में यही होगा।
Sir,
मतलब जो टैबुलेटेड वाई वैल्यू दे रखी होगी उसमें से हमें प्रेडिक्टेड वाली माइनस करनी होगी,
प्रेडिक्टेड वाली माइनस करके स्क्वायर करके ऐड करना।
हाँ ओके ओके।
Sir, I just have a query. This is the question number 12 on mock test. Okay. The thing is the total 300 raised by a group A. Okay, this is the question. And the first question is how many people actually contributed in group? Here group means A and B both, but here answer is only 10. But A and B group both is
mistake. It asks for only group A. Some mistakes.
Okay, because I saw the group thing, so I combined A and B and
25,
get the
that will be
answer.
25.
25, yeah. Now the answer is saying 10. That's why I'm asking I did something wrong or not.
So in this question, like where you
answer is 10.
after getting that k equals to 15, and then you get the x coordinate is 0. So for like any other equation, if they give in the exam, we should put x equal to 0 every time.
Not every time. Here we know that x coordinate is 0. Somewhere I have given you like 1 comma some y. If I have given you, I want the y coordinate of this point.
So can you please tell once again, like how do you get that x equal to 0?
See, x is equal to 0. This particular point A is on y-axis. You see the graph.
Okay.
So on y-axis, x coordinate will be 0.
Yes.
Okay. From there, we got x is equal to 0.
Okay, understand.
Sir, for the last
explain question number 14, sir.
Sir, when we get
if you want
mock test solution, sir.
Yeah, you will get by 4 p.m. If you are asking mock solutions, you will get by 4 p.m. before 4 p.m.
Sir, please tell when it's a question in SSC, how we should find the C.
See, just now I explained, right, how we should find K.
No,
See,
sir, it was not like that. In the question, it was quadratic equation with.
Okay, just give me the quadratic equation.
I should see through it. So it was something like c square plus 30 minus 34c plus 59. It was like that. 5c square. It was graded.
Ultimately, you got SSC as c square minus 5c plus. What is that other thing?
59, sir. No, sir, it's not correct value, exact value. It was minus 34c.
Whatever, 32. What 32 is it? See, whatever, you got a quadratic equation ultimately, right? SSC is equals SSC,
yes.
You got it in a quadratic form.
Yes,
now, what will be the minimum value of this quadratic? Where will the minimum exist?
0.
Okay.
At minus b by 2a?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Okay. No need to be sorry. But at minus b by 2a, right?
I didn't click, sir. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, there it will take the minimum value.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Use that thing there.
Sir,
question number 14, sir.
Sir, I have a doubt in like graded assignment 4, where we need to find the a cube plus b cube plus c cube of the equation 3x cube plus 11x minus 18. So according to of the roots is 0. So according to this equation, the answer should be 54. But why in my in my set it's showing me 18?
See, each and everyone has different values. What values you got?
So my constant part is 18.
Your constant part is 18. So 18 will be the answer.
But sir, according to Solomon's the practice assignment, we need to sum up all the constant part of a cube, b cube plus c cube.
No. Whatever is asking you, see, no. What we asked you. What is the value we asked you?
Yeah, find the value of a cube plus b cube plus c cube.
And here we asked you to find the value of a cube plus b cube plus c cube, is it?
Yeah.
Sir, it may be
No, three times of AQ. We might have asked you 3 times of AQ plus BQ plus CQ.
So
No, sir,
54
the
by 2
question.
will be 18.
No, sir, the question is 3x cube plus 11x minus 18 and sum of the root is 0. Find
3x
the
cube
value
minus
of
8, 3x cube
plus 11x
minus 18
minus
is equals to 0. Correct?
and sum of the root is 0.
Sum of the roots is 0. See,
Then find the value of a cube plus b cube plus c
plus
cube.
C cube. Correct.
Then
Okay.
ABC is 6.
See, 3a,
Is making 3
this is
times.
cube, right? This is 3a cube plus 11a minus 18 is equals to 0 is one equation. See, if a is a root, this will satisfy. 3b cube plus 11a, 11b minus 18 is equals to 0. 3c cube plus 11c minus 18 is equals to 0. If you add 3 times of a cube plus b cube plus c cube plus a plus b plus c is 0, this will cancel out and you will get 54 and this will get cancelled and you will get 18. See this three term here.
Okay, got it. I understand.
Okay. So yeah, see the
If
most
you get time, then please get a solution question number 7, please.
Yeah,
then
or can tell.
Sir, 11th question of mock one.
What is question number
Sir, there are
14?
some questions in which
I can
it
explain
asks
question
some.
number
through the
7 if
mock,
sir
sir.
allow me.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me tell what I have to do. See, mock one solutions has been uploaded. Okay, if you want the solution, just go to the solutions and check. Just now we have uploaded.
Hello, sir. Can you explain the grade 4 question one?
Can I?
Sir, can you please explain mock question number
Can
10?
you explain the
See, just now I am
question number first?
just wait. Just now I am saying mock solutions will be uploaded within an hour. Okay, if you are asking me mock questions, then wait for 1 hour. You will get the mock detailed solution.
Question. I'm asking grade 4.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So other than mock, if you wanted to ask graded, tell me the question whether it is important or not. I will tell you. If it is important, I will discuss, or else I will ignore.
Okay. Question number 7,
Yeah,
sir.
grade 4.
The question is question number
A
7
graded
is the
assignment.
AND question, and ant named B wants to climb the uneven cliff.
I can't hear. 2-3 people are
Sir,
talking.
can I explain
Hello,
that
Roshan.
AND problem?
Please go on mute, man. We are unable to recognize your voice. Please, I'm requesting you.
Yeah, the question is the ant question from the grade assignment, and ant named B wants to climb.
Okay. Hold on. So have you gone through the solution?
Not yet, because the solution is not there.
This was
Solution is not there.
solution.
It's
is
there. It's there.
Graded solution.
Yeah, graded
Yeah,
solution.
it's
Rajari, what's
uploaded.
your issue? What's your exact issue? Just what's your issue?
I'm not able
problem
to
she
get
was
it.
asking.
What the question says, in short, question is asking about sum of x coordinates, right? So what is the x coordinate in the questions? It's basically the roots of equation. Got it? So there are two brackets, x square minus 19 and x square minus 2. So there are either two brackets. One of them must be equal to 0, so that they must be so that now they can be roots of the equation. Now equate both of the brackets is equal to 0 and find the values of x and just add all the values of x. You will get the answer. The ant passes through x coordinate, zeros of polynomial. That's all.
Okay.
You got
it? Yes, I got it.
Graded solutions, mock solutions will be graded solution is already been uploaded. Just go check the graded solution. Mock solutions will be uploaded within an hour. So you will get the mock solutions also. And whatever I discussed.
In my portal, I'm not able to see the graded solution. That's why I asked.
No, just refresh.
Told 1 hour, it is gonna.
Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let him explain.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Whatever
Please go ahead.
Whatever I
Yes,
discussed, just more focus on that. Okay, whatever the topics we discussed, I discussed most important topics kind of thing, and in that particular things You just try to solve the problems. Whatever the other problems you are not going to get, keep it on hold because you have only one day to go. And you
Sir,
have to
when are we going to get this PDF, sir? What the discussion?
right after this session. If I close this session, I will just ask them to.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
One time, can you please explain the graded assignment for question number 1? I saw the solution, but I'm not able to understand.
Okay, I will see the graded assignment question number 1. If it is useful, I will explain. If it is not,
Okay.
And
okay,
sir, will the mock test be sufficient, like because it is covering all the important topics?
Yeah.
So
just try to solve
that,
the mock test.
we can expect that that type of questions are gonna come.
That type of questions will
Sir?
come, but you should recognize whether that type is
Okay.
okay.
So
how many
questions are gonna be there?
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Can we get one more mock test, sir?
एक ही दिन तो बाकी है.
नहीं sir, actually वो हो गया है. That's why I'm asking, sir. If it is possible, sir.
No. See, if we want to give you mock test, we need to prepare right now. बैठ के हम prepare करना है, रात को
No.
आप देना है, कल
Yes,
सुबह.
sir. But you must have previous question papers, sir. Previous term question
papers
paper.
already we shared, I guess.
Only one you have shared, sir.
Two perspectives of this, madam. If you are already confident and have completed the previous mock set confidently, then no need for you to have a second mock test. In case if you are not able to clear the previous one and then still not confident, please go through that and the PDF that he is going to share in some time, that should suffice.
That would be more than
lack
enough.
of time. Yes, sir.
Whatever
Yes, madam.
PDF I share, go through the topics and try solving the problems related to those topics.
Okay, sir. Okay,
You
sir.
have activity questions, practice questions, graded assignment questions, right?
Okay, sir.
Around the topics you prepare. If you don't have time, if you still have time, you go through the other topics. You go through each and every graded assignment question.
So,
And
sir, from previous papers, we can do this type of mock questions, and so that
Yeah,
we
actually,
can...
this mock question covers 70% of this previous questions, right? I have given that. 70 and 80% are their questions from previous.
Sir, can you please check the question number 1 graded assignment?
I just opened the question number 1. So you want what difficulty you are facing? You know
like
how
the
to draw
first
the
two.
graph of x?
Yeah.
Have
But
you drawn the graph of g of x?
Yeah, g of x, that y coordinate is positive. That one facing the difficulty.
If you are able to make the rough graph, it's easy.
Yeah, it is gonna come.
Have you drawn the rough graph for both?
Yeah, but for my case, it's coming like -14.
-14. Just a second. Is my screen still visible?
Third, one last query that if we do all the graded assignments and mock tests, so we'll be thorough for tomorrow's quiz.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Can we leave, sir? If this is the only last question.
Was got over. This will be the last question.
Okay,
even I am tired a lot. You guys are tired from 3
Yes,
hours.
sir.
So take a break and
Thank you,
prepare. Okay, start preparing.
So graded assignments also, if we do, and mock tests will do, so we get a rough idea.
Yeah. So all the very best for your exam.
So one question.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
It
you,
was
sir.
very helpful.
Thank you, sir.
So the session was very
Thanks a lot, sir.
but sir, can you please explain if the infinitely many polynomials will come or not?
Yeah, no.
Because
why infinitely many polynomials will come?
Because that type of questions are coming in mock test and graded assignments, so that's why I'm asking.
Okay. See, that kind of questions.
Yeah. So I'm not getting that
Sneha,
type
do
of...
you know the general equation of polynomial? How
Yes.
the polynomial?
Yes.
Okay, it goes like a, then bracket में x में जो भी आपका zeros होगा, right? X minus a, then bracket में x minus b, bracket में x minus c. Got it? So
Yes.
that are the zeros of polynomial. And what is a here? A is the stretch factor. So you can take infinitely many numbers for a. Got it?
Yes.
If you have a specific zeros, for example, -2, -3, and -5, for example. So what can be values of A? It can be anything.
Okay.
Hence the number of polynomials can be infinite.
Okay.
Got it? But when the y-intercept is provided in the question, it is not be infinite because y-intercept for every polynomial should be different.
Okay.
Got it? So when when you see the question clearly, carefully, if only x-intercept is given, then there can be infinitely number of polynomials. And when when y-intercept is also given in question, you have to keep that in mind. Only one polynomial is in such conditions are possible.
Y-intercept means what will
Y-intercept means it's in graded assignment. I don't know. I don't remember the exact question number, but it is exacting like x minus कुछ zeros दिया होगा question में, and y minus अगर कुछ दिया तो वो y-intercept होगा. It's in graded assignment. I don't remember the exact question, but it is in graded assignment. Both questions are in graded assignment.
In this x minus
It is question number 3.
Yeah, it's question number 3. Thank you. Thank you.
So P0 is equals to 1 is given, so that will be considered y.
Yeah, yes, correct. You got it. For polynomial 0, when we put the values of x0, it would be y-intercept. Got it?
Okay. And what will the degree? What will be the role of the degree here? Will it apply something like?
Yeah, the degree and the multiplicities are useful when you draw the rough graph.
Okay.
Okay.
Because the degree are changing, like in graded assignment they are giving 3, and in mock test they are giving 4 degrees. So
yeah, the
will
degree
it
and multiplicities are only there for making a rough graph. As sir mentioned, there will be not more than 5-degree polynomial, and we have to find any one zeros by putting hit and trial method, and then we can find the polynomial and solve for more zeros.
Yeah. If it is not factorized, we won't go beyond 4. Okay. If it is factorized, we can go for 9 degree or 10 degree. If it is factorized, you don't have to worry, right?
Okay. Thank
you
you
will
so
have
much.
root and multiplicities with you.
Okay.
Sir, I would suggest please watch video from tutorial 1, week 4 tutorial 1 to tutorial 5. You'll get all the ideas.
Correct. So this is what g of x is, my graph is, and f of x is this graph. What you got?
Sir, I don't know, like my graph is not like that. It's like both upward.
Why both upward? See, it is minus 2 times of f of x, right?
Right.
So there is a negative sign. So minus 2 times of f of x is like minus 2x cube plus 16x square minus 14, right?
Yeah.
So it is an odd degree polynomial with coefficient negative, leading coefficient negative. So the end behavior will be like this.
Okay.
And we have three roots, out of which one root is 1 and other roots are, so one is negative root and one is positive root, and each of the multiplicity is 1, so it will actually cut.
So the y-axis is cut in the negative, na?
See, we have 2 turning points for g of x, and out of these 2 turning points, only one turning point y coordinate is negative.
Oh, okay. Now got it. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, that's it then. So that's it for today. It's already more than 3 hours of session we had. Long
Thank you,
session.
sir.
Just go through the
Thank you, sir.
which we share to you, both the PDFs yesterday.
Thank you, sir.
We will share it to you.
Thank you, sir. It was very
Thank you,
informative.
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Thank
Sir,
you, sir.
where will this PDF get shared on the
Supplementary content or resource?
supplementary? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
supplementary.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks a lot and have a good day.
Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you very much.
Have a good exam. Okay. All the
Thank
very
you.
best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye all.
Khadija.
Thank you, sir.
Sad, are you there? Sad.
Thank you, sir.
Guys, leave. Class is over.
Everyone, please drop from the call.